The football talk show that holds back nothing on opinions.
Straight shooting LJA.
Hi, I'm John Sitton.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
The G-Man.
Samira Sawhney of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
Christian Caron-Bleu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
We the people, for the people. Jazzy Fizzle.
Your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Each and every Monday night of your lives.
At youtube.com/pitch talk.
For podcast links and information, check out our official website www.pitch-talk.com.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez.
Grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Christian Caron-Bleu.
Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan.
Dave McLaughlin.
And Rob Lusher.
Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Former Chairman of Ibis FC.
Chairman of Alexandra Park FC.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk. Make sure you join the revolution, the football revolution.
Hi, I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam, and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez. My name is Christian Caron-Bleu.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, Director of the 4-Year Plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Rob Lusher, former Chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Samira Sawhney, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening
to Pitch Talk.
Insert dramatic pause here. Insert dramatic pause here again. Copy and paste dramatic pause again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions, because the pitch is where we eat, the pitch is where we sleep, and the pitch is where we talk. You know what? It is, baby. It is, baby. Time to get seasoned, baby. Not just because the American dream, Dusty Rose is in the house, baby, but because it's Monday night, baby. It's Monday night, and that's why it's time to get seasoned with the football chitter-chatter. Chitter-chatter, if you will. It's time. It's about the time to get a little bit seasoned in here. We got to get seasoned, baby. But for those who are wanting to join the footballing revolution, baby, for those who are wanting to join it, you gotta go to www.pitch-talk.com and you gotta join. You gotta join the football revolution we are working so hard to create, baby. Facebook. We're on Facebook as well. We on them social networks, baby. We on Facebook.com/pitch-talk. Hard to say with this list that the American dream has got. It's very hard to say. Facebook.com/pitch talk. But also we on Twitter too, baby. We on Twitter too. At Pitch Talk on Twitter. Or Twitter.com/pitch talk, baby. The American dream doing these intros for your Monday Night Football and Fix, baby. Also, remember on Facebook you can become a member of the group, baby. Join the footballing revolution we are working so hard to create, baby. Because we gotta get this footballing revolution a bit seasoned up in here, baby. It's gotta get seasoned. But also other ways you can get in contact with us. 07535804466 is the mobile number, baby. is that mobile number. Call us, text us, let us know your views, baby. We'll be getting that mobile on and ready to go in a second, baby. Also, Pitch Talk 1 on Skype. Join us and join the Skypers, baby. The live Skypers. We also do podcast our shows, baby, on iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, and Spreaker, baby. That's where we do the podcast of the show. And also, as you hear the phone switching on and loading up, as you hear that sound, the American Dream will also tell you that Pitch Talk, the blogspot.co.uk or .com will bring you to the blogs by Straight Shooting LJA, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle, baby. Oh, free co-hosts as well at some blogs from guys such as Big T, aka Thomas Hewitt. Also some others who do blogs for us as well, such as Dave Mir, aka Mircy on Twitter, baby. We've also got blogs from Manisha Taylor, and also many more, including Russ Vernon too. So it's all good, baby. It's all good, but the American Dream has to hand back over to the Straight Shooting One SSLJA, baby. It's one of them when you gotta hand back. The American Dream has to hand back. So, Dusty, thank you. It's my pleasure, baby. It's my pleasure, baby, to be giving those intros and the information for your Monday Night Footballing Fix. But I almost forgot to say youtube.com/Pitch Talk is where we're live right now, baby. We're getting season live, baby, for the masses. For the masses, baby. We're getting to that pay window, baby. We're going to be going to that pay window with tonight's show, baby. Because tonight is going to be an amazing show, baby. It's one of them ones. So, SSLJA, I will be giving back to you, baby, so you can carry on the show. YouTube.com/Pitch Talk is where you can find all of our videos, including the Pitch Talk Meet series, the Pitch Talk on the Road series, and much, much more. So it's one of them, man. We're everywhere, man. We're everywhere at the moment. But you always have fun doing what we do. We got the Skypers in the house, and we are going to throw out to one person who is one half of the tag team champions of the world of being a wrong'un. One half is me, Straight Shooting LJA, the Bionic Darky, and the other one is the Troubles of Whitey, and that is Big T. But we have to give Big T the proper introduction. It's fortunate that that tune comes to an end because Big T, oh my God, he's home. So it's time for the wrong'un to get the proper introduction, baby. Big T, he's back on Pitch Talk. Big T is back. He's back on Pitch Talk. Big T, what's up, man? It's been a long time. Hopefully, we've now got you back regularly, but what is up?
Well, like I say, everything's long at the minute. With yours truly, you know that, and everybody knows that.
Terrible.
That's my little pun right there.
Terrible.
Yeah, everything's good. Thank you very much for the intro. Yeah, everything's all right. I mean, like I say, it's a bit of a busy weekend. I mean, I've got my hands literally on 2 semis. Hopefully, they're going to come together and make something good. But yeah, everything's fine. I mean, while you were talking, I was just watching this brilliant interview from Des Lineman, one of the Hall of Famers of the commentators, and he just came out with something, not like that, but he was talking about a fellow Arsenal goalkeeper legend, and he was just talking about David Seaman, and what he said, I think, was very intellectual. He was saying that he wanted Seaman to be the best goalkeeper in the league at that time, and he said that Seaman was on everybody's lips, and I just thought to myself, brilliant, I'm going to say, well, that's what she was saying last night, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad to be here, I'm glad you're all here. It's a shame that Gav and Jezzy, who, not here, but are never here in spirit, but most importantly, how are you? I've missed you. How's it going?
Mate, Big T, that is just so wrong, I got a down back. Semen on everyone's lips that's wrong. It's funny, but wrong.
He said it, not me. I'm just saying.
It's a Futurama throwback. I'm just saying, as a whole.
Gregory House. I'm just saying.
And Jezzy Fizzle will probably be like, really? But no. All good, man. All good stuff, man. But, I said, man, have we got you back regularly now, then?
Well, like I say, I've told the missus that I need this time. This is my time. We need our time, and that's it. She's just locked away, and I need my time to keep myself busy with you lot. That's done. This is now. I'm going to be in the future. My voice is back, and I'm ready to rock and roll with the people I love. So let's get cracking on, man.
It's our time. Here comes trouble. Yeah, it's our time. Big T's trouble. Not gonna listen to anybody trying to tell me what to be. Oh, I love it. Oddly enough, I've been watching the WWF Raws and SmackDowns from 2000, so that song is very much in my mind. But, oh my god, yeah, that's some good stuff, man. That is some good stuff. But we've also got Mike Harneman in the house. Mike, what is up? You must be buzzing after a certain result on the weekend.
Oh, that pre-season friendly that was taking place yesterday. Were you on about the League 2 game?
I was talking about the Community Shield, but yeah, glorified pre-season friendly. Yeah.
Oh, the community friendly. Yeah, that was it was a good result, but to be honest, I'm just more pleased that there was no serious injuries and that we kind of scored a nice goal. Had a couple of good performances and no sort of serious injuries, as I've said, and a clean sheet to go with it as well. But to be honest, as I've said to Jezzy, I'm not fast. It is kind of just like a friendly to me.
No, I'm actually glad to hear that. I was expecting a shed load of hype from a lot of Arsenal fans, not you in particular. I was just expecting my Twitter feed to blow up, just like after Man United beat us in a pre-season friendly. It's like, oh my god, we're going to win the league. I thought it was going to be like that, but good stuff. Good stuff. We've also got Tom Wood in the house. Tom, how goes it?
Fine, yourself?
Yeah, not bad, not too bad, man. How's your weekend been?
Week was alright, and the weekend was even better. With Southampton getting off to a flyer. Just hoping they can keep them going and keep getting the wins, and they get us promotion.
I hear that. Well, them ones win. At least there ain't been no managerial casualties from your side yet. Although there has been one, and we'll get into that in general talking points for sure, because it's just very, very strange. But we've also got Russ Vernon in the house. Russ, how goes it?
Oh, good, thanks, Liam. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad on my side, man.
Liam, I mentioned a question to G-Man Off Air last week, and he told me to mention it on the show this week for the YouTubers, the Twitter fans, the Facebookers, and you, the Skypers. Asked the G-Man last week in relation to Arsenal, and he said mention it to you guys so I can get your opinions as well, and Mike Harneman's and others. I'm going to say if you are involved on Twitter at Pitch Talk and use the hashtag at PT yes or at PT no, and let me know your opinion on the question I'm just about to pose out. Well, Skypers, get your views in the chat as well for me, please. I just want to ask you all a question regarding Arsenal.
Yeah, sure, go on.
The question regarding Arsenal, guys, is are Arsenal genuine title contenders this season? So, like I said, I tweet at Pitch Talk with hashtag PTYes if you think they are, or hashtag PTNo if you don't think they are, and the reason why you don't think that. And also I have got the Capital One Cup game on this evening, which is Carlisle and Derby, 34 minutes gone. There's 0-0 there at Brunton Park, Liam. And that's my question. Do you guys feel Arsenal are genuine title contenders this season? And I'm going to start off with you, Liam, first and foremost, with you being a co-host.
I was going to say that potentially. I think potentially they could be. I mean, Alexis Sanchez is a quality player. Callum Chambers not half bad. It's just that I think Arsenal would probably need. I think they'll be challenging, but I don't know if they'll win it, because it'd be one of them ones. Like a lot of people have said, oh yeah, Suarez is going to be a miss for Liverpool. I think it's one of them where Arsenal need a holding mid, because I don't know if they could rely on Arteta to be that destroyer. Flamini's not too bad, but I think you need someone next to him in certain games to help him. But Hey, in the Community Shield, they overran Man City, in midfield where they were playing three in the centre. So it all depends how they line up. But I mean, they potentially could be. The Vermaelen transfer we'll get into later, actually. That's an interesting one. Yeah, we'll get into the Community Shield result because results analysis is up next. But it is one of them ones where it's hard to tell at this moment because the season ain't even kicked off yet. I'll put it that way. We also have actually, in regards to that question, Jesse, are you there? Jesse, are you there? Jesse, are you there? Jesse, are you there?
No.
The American Dream would like to ask if Jesse Fizzle was in the house. Because if Jesse Fizzle was in the house, we will give Jesse the proper introduction, baby. Because the American Dream was on a little bit earlier, telling you how to get involved with Pitch Talk, and it was I think it was fairly entertaining, just like the American Dream. Only the American Dream knows how to get down and funky like a monkey with that charisma, baby.
Yeah, no, he's not in.
The wheel's turning, but the hamster's dead. Jesse, what's going on, though, man? How goes it?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to be back. I know it's different for everybody that will be tuning into the YouTube feed because I'm not in the studio, but I'm in the show. I'm on the show. And you know what? I was listening to Russ's question about Arsenal being potential title contenders this season, and I was listening to your answer as well, straight shooting one, and I have to say, I agree with you. I think, in terms of that cluster of teams that, I personally believe could go and do some damage potentially this season, be vying for, the top 4 this season, I have to say Arsenal are up there. They are absolutely up there. I mean, one of the different things I think that a lot of people haven't necessarily been paying attention to with Arsenal in regards to transfers is that they're moving out some of the dead weight.
Yeah.
With
Giroud disappearing, it's like the tree is gone, but Bentner's still there.
As I was saying, they haven't got rid of all of it, but they are starting. So for me, I think the Thomas Vermaelen transfer, which I know we're going to come on to later on, is absolutely fantastic. Not just for the fact that, obviously he's gone to Barcelona and they somehow managed to get, I think it was like, 15 million euros or something, but more that you've got a player that doesn't want to be there, is going to be divisive in the dressing room, and he's now gone.
Yeah, we'll get into that one, definitely. We're going to get into that because that's
he's now gone. But, just to touch briefly on the Community Shield yesterday, if Arsenal play like that, and you get Olivier Giroud scoring goals like that, then I have no doubt that Arsenal will be where realistically they've always been, which is top 4. I really don't know why a lot of people seem to think Arsenal might not be title contenders. Arsenal have been title contenders every year since Arsene Wenger's been at Arsenal. So, I personally expect more of the same. And the brilliant thing about Arsenal in terms of the financial side of things is they still have a lot of money to spend.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, their only real debt was paying itself off, and I think it actually is paid off now.
Right, and you was mentioning the need for a holding midfielder. There's lots of talk about Arsenal now going after William Carvalho. So
at least the Khedira rumours have cooled, because that rumour was just going around for weeks.
Yeah. So at least if they do decide to go for that holding midfielder, maybe he's that guy. Maybe they pay that 30-odd million price tag that I'm hearing being floated around, and maybe that answers that question. And I do think that if Arsenal do that, then, I look at that squad as I look at Arsenal squad every year, even when they used to sell their top player, and say this is still a very competitive squad.
Oh, definitely.
And they should be up there in the top 4. So, Russ, I hope that answers your question. I'll be keeping an eye on the socials for anybody that does actually go and respond to our little poll that we've got going. But do let us know, do you think that Arsenal are going to be title contenders? Personally, I would say there's no reason for them not to be. They've been title contenders year in, year out since Arsene Wenger's arrived. So I expect more of the same. But what do you think? This is We the People for the People. This is your Monday Night Footballing Fix. Let us know your views, because we value your views and your opinions. Get in touch.
You damn right. And seeing as Mike Harneman is an Arsenal supporter, what's your view on it?
I think, to be honest, we will be up there again. we've been up there, as Jesse said, as you've said, for the number of years now with Wenger there, and even before Wenger was there as well. We were sort of pushing up towards the end of the table before that as well. And I think depends who we get in for Vermaelen, because we definitely need to sign another centre back or two to kind of cover that position. Because the likes of Chambers is a
Mike,
bit inexperienced. Yeah.
You seem to be cutting out. You seem to be cutting out at times. Sorry, man.
That's right. It's going to be a bit inexperienced, and I think basically this is Chambers. If you didn't catch what I'm on about, I think Koscielny and Mertesacker are fine. They'll be the front, the sort of front pairing for, the leading pairing. Sorry, for the two centre back positions. But I don't think Chambers is quite ready to step in to sort of, kind of cover any of them yet. I think give him a season or two, and then he'll be a lot more sort of ready. I think somebody needs to come in and basically be sort of like the Vermaelen, who can step in and maybe even cover another position like left back as well.
No, I hear that. It's gonna be an interesting one. It's gonna be an interesting one. Big T, you want to jump in on this quickly before we shift on to the result? Before we shift on to the next segment.
Alright, very quickly, I was just going to say that Arsenal have got the squad, but I just tend to think that they lack the cutting edge to be title contenders. Yes, they'll be in the top four, no question, but they need, if they don't get these replacements, like as Mike was saying, Vermaelen, a defensive midfielder, I can't see them winning the league, because comparing squads like Chelsea and Man City, they just don't match. I mean, yes, they've got good players, but they just don't have that cutting edge like Chelsea and Manchester City do. They'll be in the top three, definitely, there's no question about that, but I hope they surprise people, because it could be a three-horse race. I hope it is, but who knows? That's the beauty of football, as you say. Nothing's for sure.
I heard that. I was going to say, there's an OWR in there somewhere with the cutting edge. Yeah, there's an OWR there. Among the OWRs that have already been dropped. Where's Dusty at? Where's the Dream at? But nah, all good, man. You know what? It is one of them ones. But we paused the particular track we're on because it's time because Jesse earlier, we usually apply this to Jesse, but we got to apply this to Big T as well.
I'm back, baby.
We got to apply that to Big T this week, but it is time for us to move on to results and analysis. It's results and analysis. Yeah, I can't pronounce analysis properly, I guarantee you that. But a few shout-outs, actually, before we go into results analysis. Big shout-outs to the Section 357 show, also Motivate Sports and Fitness, and Samir Sawney, Director of Motivate Sports and Fitness. And also a big shout-out to Girls on the Ball, who over the weekend have been catching, and over the last few weeks have been catching some FAWSL action. And also a big shout out to Finn White Line Magazine, facebook.com/Finn White Line Magazine. And a couple of other friends of the show, Miss Manisha Taylor, Mr. Sohail Raymond, congratulations. And also Umbry and Ali as well. What's up, everyone? What is up? You know what? Let's roll into results and analysis of where we're going to start. It's Tuesday, 5th of August, 2014. We're going to start with the Barté boys. It's in the UEFA Champions League qualifying. Third round. Barté Borisov 3, Debrecen 1. As well, there was Sidibe scored a penalty on 21 minutes, but Voldoko scored on 40 minutes. Rodionov scored on 67 minutes, and Krivet scored in the 95th minute. Maccabi Tel Aviv 2, Maribor 2. Ibrahimi scored on 37 and 56 minutes, and Tal Ben Ben Haim scored on 43 minutes, and Ben Bassat scored on 55 minutes. Panathinaikos 1, Standard Liège 2. Mbobo scored on 37, and Mpoku scored on 42 minutes. Oh my, what a name! Arslanagic scored on 18 minutes and own goal. I rib you not, his name is Arslanagic. It's spelled A-R-S-L-A-N-A-G-I-C. Arslanagic. Sorry, I cannot keep a straight face with that sort of name. But also in some of the other qualifying matches, we've also got Lille 1, Grasshopper Zurich 1, Beaumont scoring on 20 minutes, and Abrashi scoring on 34 minutes. Now, swinging on to Wednesday, 6th of August 2014, we're going to take a couple of these in the Champions League qualifying. Zenit St. Petersburg 3, AEL 0. Rondon scoring on 56 minutes. Danny scoring on 89 minutes. And Alexander Kurzakov scoring a penalty on 92 minutes. Apoel Nicosia 2, HJK Helsinki 0. Sheridan scoring on 20 minutes, and Di Vicente scoring a penalty on 44 minutes. Malmo 2, Sparta Prague 0. Rosenberg scoring on 36 and 56 minutes, but Malmo won on the away goals rule. SA's Tiraspol 0-0 versus Slovan. Besiktas 3, Feyenoord 1. Manu scoring the only goal for Feyenoord on 75 minutes. But Demba Ba, recently released from Chelsea, scored on 29 minutes, 81 minutes, and 87 minutes. A hat-trick. Steaua Bucharest, and yes, Mike, we do have more on the Celtic story. We'll come back to that. Steaua Bucharest scored twice, but FC Aktobe scored only the one. Because Kapadze scored on 86 minutes, but Chipsiu scored on 3 minutes, and Stanciu scored on 39 minutes. FC Copenhagen 2, Dnipro 0. Cornelia scored on 37 minutes. Kadri scored on 53 minutes. Salzburg 2, Karabakh Azrisu. Hinterega scored the 2 goals for Salzburg, one on 19 minutes, one on 35 minutes. Dinamo Zagreb 0, Aalborg 2. Jakobsen scored on 37 and 86 minutes. Partizan Belgrade 2, Ludogorets 2. Skuletic scored on 31 and 36 minutes, and Nascimento Marcelino scored on 20 and 22 minutes, but Ludogorets won on the away goals rule. And one of the more controversial matches, actually not even one of the more controversial matches, the controversial match this week. Celtic 0, Legia Warsaw 2. Now, I'll get into the reason why this is controversial in a second, but Zyro scored on 36 minutes, and Kucharczyk scored on 61 minutes. That only tells you a small portion of the story. Hold on to that thought. We're going to come back to that, because Thursday, 7th of August 2014, there were some Europa League qualifying matches. We're only going to go through a couple of these because otherwise we'll be here all night. But there's one. Where was that one? Where were we gonna go with this? Brøndby 0, Club Brugge 2. Castillo scoring on 39 minutes, and Mengazo scoring on 47 minutes. Hull City 2, Trenčín 1. Ahmed El Mohammadi scoring on 27 minutes after Malik had opened the scoring for Trenčín on 2 minutes, but Sonny Aluko came off the bench and scored on 80 minutes. Now, the interesting thing about that is, obviously, last week, I think it was Sam Greenham who mentioned last week about Tom Huddleston's high, wide, and butt ugly penalty. Terrible. But we're going to come back to the Champions League and Europa League draws in a second, because those draws were actually made on the 8th. On Friday, 8th of August 2014, the draws were made. Tottenham have actually got. Where are we going? Right, let's take the full draw. Europa League playoff round full draw is Sarajevo versus Borussia Mönchengladbach. Spartak Trnava are playing FC Zurich. Karabag play FC Twente. RNK Split play Torino. Neftchi play FK Partizan. Apollon Limassol play Lokomotiv Moscow. Asteras Tripolis play Maccabi Tel Aviv. Petrolul Plesti play GNK Dynamo. AC Omonia play Dinamo Moscow. Ruch Chorzal play Metalist Kharkiv. Astana play Villarreal. AEL Limassol play Tottenham. HJK Helsinki play Rapid Vienna. Aktobe play Legia Warsaw. Elfsborg play Rio Ave. Young Boys play Debrecen. Dnipro play Hajduk Split. Trabzonspor play where was that? Play FC Rostov. Lyon play FC Astra. Okay, that sounds like a car. PSV play Shakhtar Solgorsk. PAC. Wait, is this AC Milan 06, 07? Sorry, with the Astra sponsor. But anyway, PSV, PEC Zwolle play Sparta Prague. Dynamo Minsk play Nacional. Zimbru Chisinau play PAOK. Lokeren play Hull City. Oh my good God. Kardemir Karabakspor play Saint Etienne. I really hope I've gotten that one right. Spartan play Inter Milan. Nice little rhyme there. I quite like that. Panathinaikos play Midtjylland. Not Midgetland. Not Midgetland before you go wrong on it.
I thought he was going to say Michelin. Like the tires.
Michelin. Drive hot. No, wait. That's Castrol GTX. Scrub that from the record. Anyway, Feyenoord play Zoria Luhansk. Grasshopper Zurich play Club Brugge. Real Sociedad play Kuban Krasnodar. Rijeka play FC Sheriff. So, matches to be played on the 21st of August and 28th of August 2014. Now, a couple of interesting ones in there. Lokeren playing Hull City. And hey, Tottenham playing AEL Limassol. You'd expect Tottenham to get through that easily, but Hull City's maiden voyage in the Europa League, it's going to be extremely interesting. Does anyone want to jump in on the Europa League draw before we move on to the Champions League controversy?
Well, I'll jump in quick and say that Hull have got it really tough because Lokeren have got experience in European competitions. I think it was like 4 seasons ago they're in the Champions League, so they're not going to be easy pickings for him. So Steve Bruce is really going to have to, he's got to choose really if he wants to stay in the Premier League or go well in the Europa League, because we saw what happened to Swansea. It's not going to happen if you want to juggle both. So he's got a tough decision to make, but I'm sure he'll make the right decision for the club. So
Definitely. Hopefully Sam Greenham's about on Twitter. We'd love to hear his views as well as Elliot Waller and also Matt Whitfield as well, being part of the Pitch Talk family and being Hull City supporters too. Jazzy, did you want to jump in on these as well?
No, I'm just really going to say that I think there's some, really interesting ties generally, and I look forward to see who progresses. I mean, it seems a bit strange. Me personally, me, big fan of, continental football, to see clubs like Lyon, Saint Etienne, PSV, and of course Inter being in there, not to mention Villarreal, aka the Yellow Submarine. So, I think that all of these big teams that have had previous experience in the Champions League, even Dynamo Moscow, I see those teams going through quite easily. But again, it's so unpredictable in the Europa League. I think, much like we talk about the difference in terms of how challenging it is, for example, in the Premier League versus the Championship. And I always say that the Championship is probably the tougher league because you play so many games and all the teams, to me, are far more even than they are in the Premier League. I think it's very similar with the Europa League. So it's almost like any one of these teams could go through. But as I say, I'm expecting the big boys that are named to go through. And I think Big T makes a very, very interesting point about Hull. I think Steve Bruce does kind of have to pick his poison, whether he goes on a domestic push or he tries to make a big push in Europe. I personally think that he will go with the domestic push, just because, you know, if you get yourself in a position where you can qualify again, whether it is as, you know, default, de facto losers of a cup, you know, against a team that's already qualified for the Champions League or not, you know, I think another good domestic season for Hull is probably far more important than, I don't know, I suppose a European Odyssey and an Opus.
I hear that.
So I personally think, you know, unless they get a really good luck of the draw, you know, I personally see them replicating what Bolton did.
I hear that.
That's what I could see potentially happening. But having said that, though, I do think that the Premier League will take precedence. I do think that the domestic cups, so the FA Cup and the League Cup, will both take precedence over Europe, just because, you know, you want to make sure that you're back in it again next year.
No,
and the way that you do that is to make sure that you perform in the league. And for me personally, having shown themselves to be quite a capable cup team last year, I would say that the cup offers another good opportunity, depending on how that shakes out. And it's probably better for them to focus on that than to try and throw all their eggs in one basket in the Europa League this season.
No, good shout. That's a very good shout. I mean, Ross Vernon wanted to jump in as well. By the way, hello to Kieran Riley too. Ross, you want to jump in quickly before we move on to the Champions League draw?
Yes, I do, Liam, because when you mentioned Saint Etienne, I was looking out for them in the Europa League draw because of one of the former players that they've got who used to be at Leeds United. You may remember.
Yeah, Max Gradle.
Max Gradle, yes, who played for Ivory Coast of the World Cup. I'm looking forward to watching them see how he does in the Europa Leagues. He was linked with a move back over a few months ago to Bournemouth and Leeds United as well, but he said he wants to stay and play in Europe for Saint Etienne, so hopefully he gets his chance. And I'm looking forward to try and watch that game to see how well he does in it, and hopefully he does well, and hopefully one day comes back to England and hopefully he comes back to Leeds. So I would just say good luck to Max Gradle and Saint Etienne in the Europa League, and I just want to say good luck to Hull City as well, especially with Elliot Wallen, Mal Whitford, and not so long ago Sam Greenham, a member of the Peach Tar family, supporting them boys as well. And good luck for the Premier League season as well to Hull City as well.
Oh, good, man. Oh, good. Just wanted to say a quick one. No top sixer, no Europa. To Man City, sorry, to Man United in regards.
Yeah, I knew that was
coming. In regards to what Big T said in the.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Oh my God!
It's all right. Get your licks in.
Oh, I have been for the past 10 months.
Enjoy it, right?
So we enjoyed it last season.
You know, when it's time for you to get fixed, you know, so good.
When it's time, baby. When it's time for teams to get fixed, baby. The American dream would like to see when
people say this to Big T, you know, you just keep on keeping on with all of these, you know, pot shots that you're taking, okay? Because I will ask you about your two teams, I will, but then I figure, you know what, I don't want to waste my breath, so I'll just save my time.
So living. You know what? Let's shift on to the Champions League. Let's shift on to the Champions League quickly. Another team which Man United, another competition which Man United not in. Anyway,
this guy, just because you lot are back in it for a cup of coffee, right? now, right?
And you lot are out of it for a cup of coffee. It's tremendous.
Your new nickname is Bertie right now. No. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say.
That's John Sitton's.
You need to calm down.
That's John Sitton for you. But anyway,
should I actually say, calm down, soft lad.
Terrible.
Calm down.
No. But anyway,
thank you, Kevin Hart.
Yeah, -4, not quite -5. But no, it's one of us. We mentioned about the controversy between Celtic and Legia Warsaw. Celtic reinstated to UEFA by UEFA due to Legia Warsaw players' ineligibility. Celtic had been reinstated to the Champions League after UEFA ruled that Legia Warsaw fielded an ineligible player. The game's governing body ruled the Polish champions fielded fullback Bartosz Berezinski for the final 3 minutes of their 2-0 victory at Murrayfield, a result which earned them a 6-1 aggregate win despite him not being registered. UEFA's investigation centered on Berezinski's sending off for violent conduct against Apollon in the final match of Legia's Europa League campaign last season. Oh yeah, no, I remember that. We actually went over that on a show. It was a really stupid sending off as it happened. But he missed both ties against St. Patrick's in the second qualifying round and then set out the first leg against Celtic. But UEFA decided that he had not been registered in Legia's squad for the games against the Irish side in order to allow a 3-match suspension to take effect. Aha. In a statement, UEFA said UEFA Control, Ethics and Disciplinary Body have announced that Legia have been sanctioned for fielding an ineligible player in their second leg against Celtic. The match has been declared as forfeit and Legia have lost the match 3-0. As a consequence, Celtic have qualified for the playoffs on away goals, aggregate 4-4, and Legia will compete in the Europa League playoffs. In addition, the player Bartosz Berezinski has been suspended for one additional UEFA competition match for which he would otherwise eligible. This suspension shall be added to the remaining 2-match suspension, which the player still has to serve in accordance with the Control and Disciplinary Body decision of the 13th of February 2014. Legia chairman, the guy's name is spelled Boguslaw, literally Boguslaw, which is hilariously ironic considering what we're talking about in terms of decision. Now, it's one of the Legia chairman Boguslaw Lesniadorsky. I thought it was going to be Lesnar. Lesniadorsky reacted by saying that he hoped Celtic would not accept UEFA's decision. Why the hell are Celtic not going to accept that decision? Let's think about it. But they have said it's unjust and disproportionate. So, the draw for the 2014-2015 Champions League playoffs, the last qualifying round before the group stage, was made in Switzerland in Nyon on Friday. The draw in full, the champions route, Maribor versus Celtic, Red Bull Salzburg versus Malmo, Aalborg versus Apoel, Steaua Bucharest versus PFC Ludogorets, Slovan Bratislava versus the Barte boys, Barte Borisov. And the league route is Besiktas v Arsenal, Standard Liège versus Zenit St. Petersburg, Copenhagen versus Bayer Leverkusen, Lille versus Porto, Napoli versus Athletic Bilbao. Hey Jesse, you remember Athletic Bilbao from a couple years ago when United dropped into the Europa League?
I don't think you'll let me forget.
You're damn right. You're damn right. And then you go and nick Ander Herrera from him. Ironic. But anyway, the clubs drawn first will play the first leg at home, and the first legs will be played on the 19th and 20th of August, with the return legs to be contested on the 26th and 27th of August. So, interesting stuff. But you know what, yeah? Celtic getting their place back against Maribor. I'ma get my place back. Obligatory Chappelle Show reference right there. I'ma get my show back. But it's one of them ones. Welcome to Jamie Bailey in the Skype chat, by the way. And also Kieran Riley again. But yeah, it's one of them ones where Legia Warsaw, if there's any doubt that a player's registered or there's some sort of discrepancy, don't put him on. To put someone on for 3 minutes, putting Berezinski on for 3 minutes, and that's what cost you a chance to be in. Well, it cost you a match that you legitimately won, and you absolutely steamrolled Celtic, and you've been cost it by basically an administrative oversight. Mate, I swear that they must feel really stupid right now. Legia Warsaw have got to feel like utter morons. No, I'm not playing that Jim Cornette line. But no,
just flop of the week contention material.
Oh, easily. I mean to that, all you can really say is
stars. -5 stars. -5 stars.
Let it sink in.
-5 stars. -5 stars.
You just have to say that about Legia Warsaw for free, for the sake of getting someone on for 3 minutes. When you're already coasting, you're already 6-1 up on aggregate, and then their chairman has the nerve to come out with, "I hope Celtic don't accept this decision." Shut your face. I'm sorry. Hey, Bogus Law, and that's how his name is spelled. Bogus Law. Nah, not happening, mate. Not happening. Because we know if you were on the other side of that, you wouldn't be looking to give Celtic no rematch. You'd be like, you'd be like bloody what's it? You'd be like what's it? Bloody Triple H after No Way Out 2000. You had your chance and you blew it. Is what that was. I'm sorry, but no, Legia flopped. Legia flopped. Jazzy, what do you reckon on this before we throw this out?
I just have to ask the question: how does this keep happening? You know, because it's not like it's just happened once and that's it. You know, over the last few years, it's happened several times. So I'm like, who do we need to point the fingers at? Is it club administrators? Is it competition administrators? Is it both? Is it UEFA? Is it FIFA? Is it both? I'm like, how did this happen in the first place? For me personally, right, I personally feel like the club should not be allowed to be in a position where they can go and make that kind of mistake.
No, true. No, that's very true. Sorry, I'm just laughing at something in the Skype chat. All I see is Gav pop on, and I see Mikey Boy Kid. It's like, what? That's a new nickname. That's pretty good.
Mikey Boykin, yeah?
Mikey Boy Kid.
Oh, Mikey Boy. Okay. Shout out to the Mikey Boy Kid, yeah?
The Mikey Boy Kid is strong and tough, and only Storming fan is good. The hottest tunes on a daily basis. Mikey Boy Kid. Sorry, I need to stop that. But anyway, I don't know where the hell that came from. It maybe actually, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna play that yet. Actually, we're not gonna play that yet. Because Batista is not down. Apparently Batista is up. That's all I can say. In terms of
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was going.
I might have to go and check that one out, but you know.
So you're gonna check it out just to see Blue Tista and how his acting ability.
No.
Because you know his acting ability is terrible anyway from his years of wrestling.
No. Shout out to Zoe Saldana, man.
No.
I'm gonna go see.
Oh my god, no. The next thing Jezzy's gonna come out with, yeah, we want to go see Arsenal ladies. Why is that, Jezzy? Oh, yeah, for the athleticism, technical ability. Anyway.
Of course, like, what else do you think I'd go see Arsenal ladies for? Come on now.
Right.
Arguably, one of the best teams in women's football in the world over the last few years. Come on now.
Bright lights and the thing. Anyway, yeah.
You stop.
If only there was an instrumental to that. Anyway, but no, it's one of them was at the end of the day, Legia flopped. Legia flopped, and they don't have a Legia to stand on. Sorry, that was a cheap script.
By your writers.
-5 stars.
I have to give it to myself once in a while. The -5 stars, that is, because Big T's in the house. I have to be careful what I say. Anyway, Curveball right on in strike one. Does anyone else want to jump in on the Champions League draw, and the and also the Celtic issue as well? Because the Champions League draw, I think, is interesting. Liège Peters versus Zenit St. Petersburg kind of stands out for me. That's going to be a very interesting one. Besiktas Arsenal is going to be interesting too. I'm almost hoping that Maribor actually beats Celtic, to be honest. A big shout out to Seaboard, CBAWS23 on Twitter. I'm sorry, dude, but I'm almost hoping Celtic get beaten because they're basically in by default. Kind of like what happened with Roma in the Champions League when the whole match fixing thing with Luciano Moggi came out. And Roma ended up getting promoted to the Champions League and got absolutely annihilated 7-1 by Man United. And it was like, you know, you just battered a team that like should be UEFA Europa League at best. But anyway, it's one of them ones. We got Jamie Bailey in the house. You want to jump in on this, and then we'll have Mike Harneman after?
Yeah, hi to everybody. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm hoping that you can.
Oh, we can hear you. Good evening.
Yeah, sorry, I'm actually using a new set of headphones from what I got over the weekend.
Did you get a pair of Beats headphones for a couple £100?
Nah, I weren't that stupid.
Okay, cool.
So I had to be smart enough and actually buy a pair of headphones for the laptop because I knew I can't be using the phone every single week for pitch talk, even though it was good. But you know what, the laptop's there as well.
I hear that.
But yeah, in terms of the Champions League, I was there on Sunday for Arsenal's game against Man City. I'm pretty sure everybody's been talking about whether Manchester City really put out their best team, and you know what? Regardless of that, we still got the win, and that's the way that I'm seeing it, rather than who was out there. In terms of the Champions League, I think the fact that Arsenal got Besiktas and there's a few other teams in there. The one thing I think there's going to be a couple of decent and surprising results. The only thing that I'm not really too happy about is the fact that Celtic. I can't say that it wasn't needed, but and it's not the wrong thing to do. But Celtic are only in there because of a player.
Well, they're in there by
they
default.
They weren't in there because of a performance.
Yeah, they're in there by default because they got beat 6-1 over 2 legs.
Yeah.
By Legia Warsaw, who were an old school Cup Winners' Cup team.
Well, it's even worse because the way that I'm seeing it is Celtic said this whole hype before the first game, saying, "Oh, they've got to step up in class," and then you go and sell Fraser Forster for about 10 million. Now,
well, we'll get into those transfers. We'll get into those transfers in a bit. We got quite.
Yeah, and that's the reason. But whilst I'm saying that, I'm saying in general, they're saying that they want to have a step up in class. You can't really be selling the best players. But then again, they have a massive amount of debt as well. So technically, selling their best players might be the only way that they're going to get out of that debt, and possibly having to drop out of Europe altogether. With their next game, we'll probably see them drop out or go through to the Champions League, whichever one. So.
No, I hear it. I mean, Mike Harneman wanted to jump in as well.
Yes, basically it's more to do with the Arsenal and the Champions League, and a little bit about Celtic as well afterwards. For the Champions League, I think it's going to be a difficult place to go to Turkey for the first game. But I'm pleased we've got them away first game as well.
Yeah.
Because I think that could make a big difference, having them away first game. Having either like an away goal or some sort of advantage to take back to the Emirates there. I'm so pleased it's that way round.
I hear that. I mean, it's one of them. The thing is, you got to make that advantage count, and you got to get at least 1 or 2 away goals so that you're not worrying about it. A 0-0, for instance, wouldn't be the worst result, but it wouldn't be the best at the same time because you'd have to shut up shop and be concerned with Besiktas hitting you on the counter. And Demba Ba, well, it's one of them was not bad. Getting a hat-trick in the previous round, you never know.
Demba Ba, the target of Arsenal for a while as well, remember?
Yeah.
So he could actually come and haunt Arsenal there.
Be another player, yeah. Right. I mean, Gav said Celtic don't deserve to go through. Agree with Jamie. If Warsaw was Barcelona, that would never have happened. So that's an interesting one. But you know what? Let's swing on because the Sky Bet Championship and the Sky Bet Football League made its return this week, and Blackburn v Cardiff kicked off the action. Blackburn won, Cardiff won. Jones scored the opening goal on 18 minutes, but Tom Kearney scored on 40 minutes to equalise. And you know what? Yeah, looked like quite a tasty match actually. Looked like quite a tasty match. So the Football League is back. So moving on to Saturday, with that in mind, with that definitely firmly in mind, baby. We start on Saturday, 9th of August with Brentford 1, Charlton 1, my local side, and the London Derby. Brentford last season finally getting that monkey off their back and qualifying. And you know what? It is one of them ones, baby. It is one of them ones where Brentford 1, Charlton 1. Vetokele scoring on 64 minutes, and Smith equalising on 85 minutes. And that deflected goal, it's like that deflection on the goal, it was like, ooh. But it was one of them was very, very interesting stuff. Brighton 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Giles Coke getting the only goal of the game on 41 minutes. Derby 1, Rotherham 0. Hendrick scoring on 82 minutes, the only goal of the game. Huddersfield Town 0, Bournemouth 4. Pugh scoring on 1 minute. Wilson scoring on 32 and 64 minutes. Jan Kermigan scoring on 50 minutes. In general talking points, we have a general talking point directly relating to this match, so stick around for that, because that match, that result has actually cost someone his job already. But Middlesbrough 2, Birmingham 0. Ayala scoring on 33 minutes and Kike scoring on 66 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised. Me, Gavin, aka the G-Man, and Russ on Twitter were actually having a conversation about this match as well. I didn't say what's that. Anyway, I said we're gonna get into that later, and it actually has cost someone their job, but we'll explain that. We'll explain that properly later. Because I'm being corrected on something when there's actually no need to correct on it, because someone has lost their job over. But anyway, Millwall 2, Leeds 0. Gonna come back to that for many, many reasons. There's all of them was Beavers scored on 8 minutes and Williams scored a penalty on 88 minutes, and it legitimately was a penalty. Let's not be stupid about it. He could have went. I think it was Williams who actually could have went down earlier, stayed on his feet, and then ended up getting taken out a second time. And it's like, nah, it was clearly. But Nottingham Forest 2, Blackpool 0. Antonio scoring on 25 minutes. Burke scoring on 30 minutes. Forest hitting the ground running. Speaking of hitting the ground running, Watford 3, Bolton 0. Troy Deeney scoring on 17 minutes. Vidra on his return to Watford scoring on 23 minutes. And Forestieri scoring on 18 minutes. Wigan 2, Reading 2. Callum McManaman scoring on 27 minutes. Sean Cummings, no jokes, come on. Sean Cummings scoring on 71 minutes.
Not make a joke now.
Hey, big T's in the house, that's why. But anyway,
T's up.
scored on 71 minutes. Morrison scored on 77 minutes. There's another big T reference. But James MacArthur scored on 93 minutes. Ipswich Town 2, Fulham 1. Murphy scored on 32 minutes, with Hoogland scoring on 86 minutes after David McGoldrick had scored on 61 minutes. A couple of quick League One, with Sky Bet League One results. Sheffield United 1, Bristol City 2. Aaron Wilbraham scoring on 20 minutes. And Higdon equalised on 32 minutes, and Wade Elliott scoring on 72 minutes. Bradford City, big shout out to Will Hainsworth, one of my ex-Ibis teammates. Bradford City 3, Coventry 2. James Hanson scoring on 27 minutes and 90 minutes. Sheehan scoring a penalty on 49 minutes, and Johnson scoring on 41 and 89 minutes. Leyton Orient 1, Chesterfield 2. Boko scoring on 7 minutes. Doyle scoring on 79 minutes, and Henderson scoring on 83 minutes of consolation for Orient. So they won't be down on an unbeaten streak for now, anyway. So there was another one. Preston 1, Notts County 1. Cassidy scoring on 52 minutes, and Joe Garner scoring on 89 minutes. A team who have had a lot of upheaval last year, Swindon Town. 3-1 win against Scunthorpe. Luongo scoring on 3 minutes. Paddy Madden scoring on 20 minutes. You don't get much more of an Irish name than that. And Smith scoring on 13 and 45 plus 7 as well. So a lot of stoppage time in that game. And just dropping down to League 2 quickly. AFC Wimbledon 2, Shrewsbury 2. Collins scoring on 9 and 84 minutes. Matt Tubb scoring on 26 minutes. And Rigg scoring on 74 minutes. Accrington Stanley 0. Southend United 1. Lee Barnard scoring on, I think that's Lee Barnard, scoring on 85 minutes. Also, Stevenage. Stevenage 1, Hartlepool 0. Whelpdale scoring on 60 minutes, the only goal of that game. And you know what? We'll come back to Sunday in a second, but let's hang on Saturday for a bit. Brentford, well done. By the way, and Bournemouth. I mean, where that came from was like, wow, where the hell did that come from? But as I said, we'll get into Bournemouth, Huddersfield, and why that's cost someone their job soon. But Middlesbrough Birmingham's an interesting one because Middlesbrough have kind of flattered to deceive for the past couple of seasons. So Birmingham's poor run continues. Their poor run continues. So, and boy, and Jamie Bailey has said lucky Brentford. Yeah, there was actually one huge chance where there was actually one huge chance where one of the Charlton guys actually hit the bar. Open goal, licked the bar. And yes, Gav. It's one of them when someone gets. Let me just throw this out there. Let me just throw this out there right now to those trying to actually correct me on something that actually doesn't need to be corrected because it's not wrong. Costing someone. So yeah, a result costing someone their job doesn't necessarily have to infer that they've been sacked. I did not say at any time that there's been a sacking in regards to that job. I'm just saying that it's cost someone their job, meaning they're not in the job anymore. Now, we haven't said the reason because we were going to leave that till general talking points. But you know what? Seeing as people want to try to correct someone who actually doesn't need correcting, let's skip ahead to that. Let's skip ahead to that story, seeing as I've alluded to it about 2-3 times. Mark Robins. Huddersfield Town part company with manager Mark Robins from August 10th, 2014. Huddersfield Town have parted company with Mark Robins after just one game of the championship season. Following Saturday's 4-0 home defeat against Bournemouth, Robins, who's 44, met with the board and it was agreed he would leave his post. A club statement read, Mark and the directors all agreed it will be in the interest of all parties to part company. Former Coventry boss Robins took over from Simon Grayson in February 2014. The win percentage over 51 games was 33%. So he won 17, drawn 11, lost 23. He helped the Terriers avoid relegation in his first season and guided the club to a 17th place finish last term. However, the club has won just 2 of their last 13 league games in a 2013-2014 campaign that finished with a total of 23 defeats. Following Saturday's loss at the John Smith Stadium, the former Rotherham and Barnsley boss was jeered by the fans. So he had actually been there 16 months. But it's one of them ones where, as said, the way I phrased it actually didn't actually need to be corrected. But seeing as I'd alluded to that point anyway, Mark Robins, that result against Bournemouth, that 4-0 defeat, cost him his job, where obviously him and the board felt that it was in the best interest of all involved for him to leave his post. So technically, it has cost him his job, and I didn't say it was sacked. So, thank you very much. But it's one of them ones. Jezzy, G-Man, do you guys want to take have at it in terms of the championship results, and also in regards to League One and a little bit of League Two as well? Because for me, Watford, great win on the opening day. Wigan Reading looked real meaty as a game on the Football League show. And Ipswich maybe could surprise people, maybe not. But Ross McCormack, his fitness is already being questioned by his fitness is being questioned by Felix Magath, who likes to wear the funny glasses. But anyway, it's one of them ones. Also,
what is it with you and them glasses, man?
I don't know, but it's the voice and the silly-looking glasses which makes I can't take Felix Magath seriously. But anyway. Speaking of taking seriously, Leeds United. We'll get onto them in a second, but I can't take Leeds seriously. I really can't. And some of the stuff that Russ said on Twitter, I can't take seriously either. But Jesse, G-Man, have at it.
Well, I'll briefly go over the Bournemouth result. I think that's a fantastic result for them. You know, way to come flying out the blocks. For Fulham, you know, like I say, you spend £11 million, I think it is, and if that's what you're getting for £11 million, maybe you want to go and look at, you know, maybe investing that money in a totally different way. Bit upset about Brighton. You know, I was hoping that Brighton would have got a better result, but it is what it is. Watford, I think Vidra coming back is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive for Watford. And again, fantastic result for them. Wigan Reading. Now
it looked tasty on the Football League show. I got to say.
For me personally, these are two of my teams that I think will go up this season. I really do. Don't ask me why, but I have a feeling that those two will be pushing at the end of the season to go up. So, you know, I think a draw is probably a fair result. I really do. But having said that, again, you'd hope one of those would win. Obviously, Big T's very, very happy with the Forest result. So we're not going to go too much into that because he's just going to, you know, get all excited and start making all this noise. So we'll just ignore that. I
think he's happy with County as well.
Well, this is the other thing. Right, I'm kind of like looking at the Notts County game. Obviously, Preston disappoint me. They really do. Why are you laughing?
But no, you gave me a flashback of American Dad. It's like when I think it was Roger the Alien to either Haley or Francine, and it was like, oh, you frustrate me. It's just like Preston disappoint me.
No, they do. They do. Because, you know, the football museum's up by Deepdale, you know, if you've ever been there. And my thing is this. I personally feel like Preston should be in the championship. That's my view. Right? And I know the rescue here. I totally understand that. In my heart, I just feel that this is the team that should be doing better.
I hear that. I hear that. Just like I felt about Ryan Babel when he was at Liverpool. We should be doing better.
Hey, well, look. My thing is this. I personally believe, right, that Ryan Babel should have never gone to Liverpool. But I think there were two teams that Ryan Babel should have gone to. Manchester United, personally.
Obvious reasons.
Or Arsenal. I think if he went to either one of those two teams, you know, he would have done far better than what he
Arsenal tracked him for 2 or 3 years and did bugger all. But let's leave Ryan Babel anyway, because he's doing bugger all at Hoffenheim these days anyway. I think he's more active on Twitter than he is on the pitch. Anyway. But
don't forget in the booth.
Yeah, oh God, he's fire in the booth. But he's like Dylan from Chappelle's show. Who are the 5 best rappers of all time? Think about it. Dylan, and Dylan. Because I spit hot fire. I love that. Yeah, another obligatory Chappelle Show reference. It's 2 and counting. But it's one of them was we had a couple of the other guys who wanted to jump in on a couple of the other results as well. So we are first going to go with Lilia Lumi. How goes it? And you wanted to jump in on the Leeds Millwall result.
Yeah, it's fine. It goes well, apart from obviously the result at the weekend. But we'll gloss over that.
It's a familiar feeling for Leeds. Got to be a familiar feeling for Leeds by now.
Yeah, true. We always seem to lose to Millwall. We don't like Millwall, it's our bogey team, but anyway. No, I think I'm just not sure about the penalty, but then looking back on it, I think it probably was one.
Yeah. If not for the first tackle by the keeper, then the second one. So there were 2 instances
I would
that
say
could have got
maybe
given.
for the second one, not the first one.
No, I heard that. I think it could have been given for either.
I agree with you, but hopefully, this Mr. Shalina is not going to interfere too much, but he's in charge, so he's going to interfere as much as he wants to, but hopefully not too much.
Yeah, no, one would hope not. One would hope that. The G-Man has said in the Skype chat that Leeds were terrible, and yeah, they looked it.
Yeah, I agree with G-Man on that one. They did look terrible from what I've seen on the highlights. Completely out of it, to be honest.
It's one of them ones where, like, we had an interesting conversation on Twitter with Russ Vernon, and Russ, if you, we'll throw it to you in a second. But there was an interesting little kind of Twitter debate that me, him, and G-Man were having during that, and the fact of the matter is, I'm not in agreement with the kind of short-term thinking that came up with. But it's one of them ones. I mean, Russ, what did you think of Leeds Millwall, and what did you think of obviously your current incumbent in terms of Hockaday?
Right, as you know, me and you and the G-Man was talking about on Saturday evening during the Football League show as we're watching the highlights on Twitter. And I had a conversation earlier today with a fellow Leeds fan, Godin Dave Hockaday as well. As I was saying to you on Twitter, I'll just read about what I was saying. Because G-Man actually posted the question saying, Massimo Cellino definitely taking a big risk. Dave Hockaday pretty much unknown, will he work out? So I said, time will tell if he works out. I personally will give things to mid-September, and you reply saying, mid-September is like you give Hockaday till then, or thinking Cellino will. I said, it was me. I think if we still need him after August, he'll go then, but for me, I'd give him till me personally, I gave him to mid of September. Then me and a fellow Leeds United fan earlier today, Andrew Dalton, known as LUFC Stats on Twitter, one of the stats man, he calls him Wackaday instead of Hockaday for some reason. He put Wackaday gone yet? I reply saying no. But if we lose tomorrow, I put maybe mate, but who will take charge? He replies saying Zola. Is there any better out there? To which I replied, Liam, I don't know what you'll think about this, but I'll go to the game against Millwall in a moment. I've just told you what I mean. He's been talking. I've said Roberto Di Matteo or Zola for me if Hockaday does go, and if Roberto Di Matteo would actually come to Leeds, for him being Italian, he'll probably go for an Italian if this one doesn't work out with Hockaday. And I was just reading where I was saying on one of the web today, Hockaday says his levels of championship. And going back to the match now, it was I thought we think for the first goal, it was Scott Wootton was supposed to be picking him up, the defender. He's not very good in my opinion, Scott Wootton. I won't play him at all in the defence alongside Jason Pearce. I can't see why we got rid of Tom Lees. I don't know what he's done wrong not to be in our squad this season. We'll be moving on to Sheffield Wednesday this summer. Had a brilliant debut by the sounds of it in Wednesday's 1-0 win over Brighton at the weekend. But for me, for the penalty, I was listening to the actual commentary, and the commentator just said Millwall should have had a penalty earlier on with a foul which didn't give going on Millwall's right, Leeds' left-hand side of the penalty area, which was again Scott Wootton's fault, but referee didn't give that, and well, commentators went, it's going to give something that shouldn't be a penalty if another Millwall player goes down because he didn't give a penalty, which should have been more earlier on in that half. They go in a few moments later, 88th minute, Millwall player goes down. Shouldn't have been a penalty because Lewis Cook, the youngster, never touched him. And you mentioned about it could have been a penalty when Silvestri brought him down, but for me, I don't think he was, because Silvestri, it looked like to me Silvestri going on to the ball and pushed him wide, going as he was coming out to push him wide. So that for me wasn't a penalty, and Lewis Cook's way. So I agree with the commentators. It was always going to get a penalty for not getting that one earlier on. And for me, like I was saying earlier, who would come in if Hockaday does go to Leeds? 'Cause I don't think anyone will want to come in with Cellino having a track record of sacking managers.
You know what? Yeah, Lily Alumi wanted to jump. You wanted to jump in rebuttal to what Russ was saying, didn't you, Lily?
Yeah, I agree with him. Who would actually want to work with Cellino? Because who would, to be honest with you? But like Russ was saying though, who would want to come into Leeds? Like, I'd kill someone like Sola, for example, or Di Matteo, but would they actually want to come into the situation that Leeds are in? I wonder, to be honest with you. But then again, they are Italians, so it could happen, like Russ was saying, with Cellino. And like Russ was saying, shouldn't have sold Tom Lees, definitely not, because he was one of our best defenders last year. I just don't think we're going to have a great defence this year. So
well, you know what? Well, for me, it was one of them ones. Leeds shouldn't have sold Ross McCormack, especially after Cellino said, "No, we're not going to sell him." It's like,
I know that's what I think. Yeah, because when Cellino said, "Oh, we're not going to sell our top goal scorer," and then they go and sell him anyway, it was stupid.
I mean, everyone here for the last few weeks has heard my views on Cellino, the two-time fraudster. It's one of them ones. Dude's been convicted of fraud twice. Like I've said, I would not trust him as far as you can throw him. I would not trust someone who's been convicted of fraud twice.
And he's the owner of my football team. I wish he hadn't bought our club, to be honest with you.
But the thing is, but for me, the one thing is that I think is being slightly missed, and Mike Harneman has actually kind of not necessarily beaten me to it, but he's kind of agreeing with it. It's a case of, do you understand how hilarious it is to be talking about a manager's only got till mid-September, and after one defeat in his first game in charge, people are actually talking about sacking a manager. You understand how moronic this sounds? To me, this sounds like pure idiocy. How in the hell can you talk? Can people be talking about? How in the hell could people be talking about sacking a manager after one game? All right, hiring him and him being unknown is one thing. All right, fine. Well, by all means, question that. But questioning a manager's position after one game is just pure idiocy. Yes, it happened with Mark Robbins at Huddersfield, but he had 16 months of a bad run before that. So it's one of them, as at least you can say that.
From all my Leeds United friends about, like you just said, don't judge him after one game. To be honest, I want him to succeed, because I was one of those people like, who is he? Who is he? I've never heard of him. I just want him to succeed and hopefully bring Leeds to a better position this year.
I mean, you know what? Let's shift from Leeds. Let's shift from Leeds for a sec, because we've kind of been on it for a bit. But Jamie Bailey, did you want to jump in on some of the Sky Bet Football League results?
Yeah, forgetting about the whole Leeds, because I still think they're being run like a mafia organisation anyway.
Yeah.
In terms of the other results, they've been alright. I didn't actually get to find out the Wolves Norwich result, because I had something more important to look at, which was the Community Shield. And yeah, I think there's one thing that most Londoners will definitely know of, and especially if you go up to places like maybe Newcastle, maybe Liverpool. There's one thing that you won't want to have on the same day at the same exact time. And it's definitely going to happen this weekend. Arsenal will be facing Crystal Palace. We've got Fulham against Millwall at the same time as you have QPR against Hull. Mm-hmm. And I think the final game is also West Ham against Spurs. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's a lot of police work. So good luck to the police, and good luck to every other fan that's going up there. I'm just hoping that there's no trouble. Yeah. But yeah, in terms of this weekend, everybody's going to be looking up to see if they can get around London on this occasion. West, South, and probably East will be very busy.
West, South, North, East. West, South, North, East.
I don't think North will be too busy, considering certainly Crystal Palace. But
well, you never know. You never know.
They'll still bring out a force, but in terms of police stewardship, they ain't ready. They're not ready for this weekend.
Oh, dude, sounds like Jay the Kid and Bubba Sparks. Bubba too so good. What they bring is not ready. They don't know. No.
Well, either way, Jadakiss, Ja Rule, 50 Cent, they ain't ready for any of it.
Bro, Ja Rule.
Oh my word.
Bro, Ja Rule. Dude brought Ja Rule. That's terrible. But you know, But, you know, listen.
But yeah, just wanted to go back on the whole championship issue. I think with all the games that are this season, I think if you look at the way that this weekend has gone, I think this season will actually be what everybody's been saying, which is the championship is basically the best league in England. But I would still say there's an argument to say that the Premiership is now the best league in the world.
Well, I mean, it's one of them ones. It all depends on what you're looking for. We kind of skimmed over that argument last week, where it's a case of it depends what you're looking for. It all depends what you're looking for. I mean, the Championship is so competitive every year because everybody's trying to reach the promised land of the Premier League. But you know what? Yeah. Take it easy, Lily. Thanks for joining us, by the way. And you know, there are a couple of other guys who have been waiting for a while. I mean, Mike Arneman, did you want to jump in on some of the Sky Bet Football League results, especially Stevenage's results?
Yeah, there's a couple actually. I want to ask Russ a question, and which I think you might have dropped out of the call now. But the question really was about Hockaday, and it's obviously Cellino is the main sort of manager. He's making all the decisions. Hockaday is there just as his sort of backup, I guess, and a bit of somebody.
He's a puppet.
Yeah,
he's a puppet. Yeah, and Cellino is the master puppeteer on the stage of football.
I've said this to him on a number of day at Forest Green, done nothing. He finished middle to bottom half of the table every year he was there.
Russ, do you want to have a reply to that? Because it does very much look like Cellino is the master puppeteer on the stage of fools, to quote Vince McMahon from, I think it was the Vengeance 2003 build-up. But anyway, another road of you. Russ, you want to rebuttal to Mike?
Yes, like I mean, we were talking when he first got appointed, and I think I've said it when he mentioned it on here before, Liam. When Cellino got rid of Ryan McDermott as our manager, we always knew we wanted a head coach and he was going to make the main decisions, and we wanted a yes man in charge. I feel when he got appointed, and I still feel the same now, Hockaday was that yes man, as we all say. But I feel like we've been saying to you over the weekend, I feel if results don't go right and we get knocked out of the Capital One Cup tomorrow against Accrington Stanley of League 2, then I feel he may leave the club. And just wanted to quickly mention the result from Saturday as well. In Derby, he won them by a goal to nil. Jeff Hendricks with the only goal of that game, Rotherham's first game back in the second tier since 05-06.
Yeah, I did mention that result, but you were
yeah. And speaking of Derby, they're leading 1-0 right now, Liam. Jeff Hendricks scored his second goal of the season down at Carlisle in the Capital One Cup this evening.
That's the Capital One Cup first round, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's about 4 minutes left to play in that game.
Good stuff, good stuff.
I'll let you know the result in the chat when he comes through.
No, good stuff. Thanks for that update, man. I mean, Mike Hardeman, you wanted to jump in about, you wanted to jump back in about Stevenage, and then we're going to move on to Tom Wood, who wants to speak about Southend. And just I throw it to Mike drops off. All right, Tom Wood, do you want to jump in on Southend?
Yeah, I think we played pretty good, decent football on Saturday. With the formation that we used, we basically played a 4-2-4 formation, which we've never used.
It's risky.
But it seemed it pretty worked throughout the whole game. Accrington pressured us throughout the first half, but the penalty we got was a blatant penalty, and it was from Lee Barnard, as you said earlier, and we missed a penalty earlier on in the first half, I think it was. And I think we did pretty right to get decent results. Hopefully we keep the results up, but we've got to keep everyone fit.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
But for the in the Championship, I thought the Nottingham Forest result was a good result for Stuart Pearce as it was his first game in charge, and I think he's going to do a really good job. Now he's got Brett Asselballon playing from week in, week out now.
Yeah.
After paying $5 million, so hopefully he can prove himself how much he's worth to be worth $5 million.
Apparently in that game he actually did look pretty good as well. So.
Yeah, he did have a chance. He had a chance to just skim past the post. I saw the highlight from it. But all the Southend fans are wishing him all good luck for the rest of the season.
No, I hear that. I mean, Big T, you wanted to jump in quickly before we move on to Sunday's games.
Yeah, very, very quickly. I was just going to jump in on what Jazzy was saying. I don't know what he was smirking and joking at, and I'm joking. In regards to the Notts County result, honestly, it was a good draw, and we were winning for about 80 minutes, and we let in a sloppy goal from a, funny enough, a former Forest striker, and end of the day, Deepdale is a very hard place to go to, and to get a point from a ground like that, it's a good start to the season, so pretty happy with that, and roll on Saturday next week at Fleetwood. So.
I hear that. I mean, Mike Harneman as well. You wanted to jump in on back in on Stevenage now that you're sorted again. Mike, where is he?
Yep, I'm back. That's fine.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, basically, I think we're going to have quite a good season this season at Stevenage because it's a lot of change. We've had, I think there was 10 players making their debuts on Saturday, albeit from starting off from the bench. So it's a whole new team again, which Wesley likes to do, and I think it's going to work because we've got a mixture of youth and experience. We've got strikers up there that we've signed from non-league, but those strikers have experience in scoring as well because between them, Calcutt and Adam Marriott, who we've signed, both have, I think it was 45 plus goals. I think it was 90 goals between them last season. And it's the kind of players like that which Wesley likes to buy and develop. Tom Pett's another example as well, who we signed from Wellstone.
I was going to say, that's smart to bring in players and develop them. And
he does develop them and then sells them on, like he's done with Luke Freeman as well.
That's smart though, because at the end of the day, it's always going to help keep your club kind of afloat. If you can buy a mic, let's say you buy a microphone for £5 and you sell it for 20, that's good business. So
I say this, right? Look at what Arsenal have done over the years.
Oh, and just because it's Mike, he drops Arsenal with it.
It's pretty much exactly the same.
No. That's not what I mean. I mean in the sense of you've taken a young player, developed them, had them have access to the facilities, so on and so forth. They played a couple of games, they've improved through having playing time, and then you sold them on for a decent profit, right? Let's use the example of, say, Nicolas Anelka.
Oh my God. 500,000, 23. Yeah, 23 million. Yeah.
No, but that's what I mean. You take
business, baby. Business.
You develop your skills, and then you sell them on, right? And I'll be honest, that is the biggest reason. That whole, shall we say, conveyor belt of talent that Arsenal produce from, a very young age in terms of the youth team. You then break into the first team, perform very, very well. That is what has Arsenal.
No, I hear that.
So, if Stevenage can go
but you can't be doing it too regularly as well, because with Wesley, he's done it with Michael Bostwick, Laurie Wilson, George Boyd, Luke Freeman. That's the four that I can just jump straight out to.
Yeah,
and
but when you look at
one
Arsenal,
of them's in the Championship, one of them's in the Premier League, one of them's just gone into League One, and probably going to be one of the favourites to get promoted. And George Boyd's in the Europa League.
I hear that. I mean, it's good to have that kind of conveyor belt, actually. So not too bad. But you know what? Yeah, we're gonna shift on to Sunday. We're gonna shift on to Sunday.
The reason why it can't be replicated.
We're gonna shift on. I just heard we can't be replicated. That's all I heard. But yeah, we're gonna. That's all I heard. It can't be replicated. Yes, your Monday Night Football and fix can be copied, but never replicated. Often imitated, never duplicated. Curveball, Rallo, and strike one. But let's move on to Sunday, 10th of August, 2014. Wolves 1, Norwich 0. Edwards getting the only goal of the game on 64 minutes. Hey, that's why TNA is not doing that well. They're trying to be WWE light. Or in the words of Jim Cornette, WWE light with less of a budget and less talented production and all that. But anyway, another OWR. There's been so many. But Wolves 1, Norwich 0. Kieran, you've been waiting for a while and you wanted to jump onto this match. So have at it. And you were there as well. That's fantastic. Have at it. Kieran Riley, what do you reckon?
Well, fantastic start to the season. At least Edwards scoring the first goal for us, which was fantastic. Kenny Jacker did pick a good side for us, and also the subs we brought on were good enough. A lot of people are saying that they don't like Liam Clark at the moment, but he's done a fair amount for us. And our brand new player making a massive debut for us was Van der Parra, and he took pretty much a lot of the hits. And he was the player that caused Oslon from Norwich to get the red card after he took him down twice. And then Van der Parra took 2 injuries, I think. We had the physio come on to him twice, and he's just got back up and played like a god. But then he was substituted within for the last 5 minutes for Carl Henry, who took his place, and he took his place with stride. But a good goal coming from Dave Edwards, which was set up by Van der Parra, which was fantastic, and it was scored in front of me as well. So it was good to have a massive eruption in the North Bank where my season ticket is.
So suffice to say, you enjoyed it.
Yeah, of course I did. Next match for us, which I'm going to, next home match is Cardiff on 23rd.
I love it. Cardiff, yes, Cardiff, that's it. You're trying to remember it. No, that's good stuff.
I was about to say Colchester, and I was thinking, no, it's Cardiff.
Well, we're not back in League One. But anyway. But no, I was going to say, hey, it's one of them was. Remember, we spoke off air about it in terms of blogging and that kind of thing. So hope to see something soon, baby. The American Dream wants to see something soon, baby. But all good. And Mike Hardiman has actually said that he's going Stevenage v Watford tomorrow. That's interesting. I like that. The FA Community Shield. Glorified friendly, yes, but good result for Arsenal because Arsenal 3, Man City 0 in the traditional curtain raiser for the season. Cazorla opened the scoring on 21 minutes. Nice goal. Aaron Ramsey scored on 42 minutes, a breakaway goal, and Olivier Giroud on the hour mark. With just a surprisingly fantastic finish. It was one of them finishes that's a bolt out of the blue. And I think it was against Man City just didn't see it coming because it was literally straight after they'd made a couple of subs. And it was like, boom, where did that come from? We're still getting organised after a substitution. It's like, what the hell? And the only King Kenny there is Kenny Dalglish. Let's get that one right. Just reminds me of that Cardiff fan, actually. Speaking of Cardiff, I know Big T who will remember this. Kenny can suck it. He can't suck it. We got Balky Mackay, he's not coming from that. And Big T was my reaction was like, what? That, oh god, that was off. I think we put that on the outtakes of Pitch Talk at the Capital One Cup Final 2012. But yeah, Arsenal Man City, not the greatest spectacle in the world. Man City looked devoid of ideas and sluggish, but it's still technically pre-season. And for any Arsenal fans getting happy or gassed, as the word will be, remember, David Moyes won a Community Shield with Man United last year. So that's how you can tell that means bugger all. But nah, I mean, it's one of them ones. On a general basis, you lay a marker down. And I think David Moyes' best moment was had before the season even began last year. So hopefully that doesn't happen to Arsenal. But does anyone want to jump in on the Community Shield? I want to throw this to Mike Hardiman first, because of him being an Arsenal fan, and then to Jamie Bailey second, because Jamie was there. So, Mike Hardiman, what's your view? And then we'll jump into Jamie Bailey. Mike?
Yeah, my view, as I've said to you already at the beginning of the show, is it is kind of, well, more like a friendly to me. It's kind of like the Emirates Cup, just a more glorified version of the Emirates Cup, and we actually won it. But to be honest, the performance was really good, as I said. I'm just pleased there was no injuries, no players that didn't look out of position or didn't look like they were not up for how they'd be playing next week against Crystal Palace. The likes of Chambers playing at centre-back will definitely do a decent enough job next week for me. Sanchez looks like a brilliant player. Some of the bursts of pace he's shown when I think it was, I'm not sure what City player it was, slipped, and he literally was through on goal. A bit more game time and sort of get a bit more fitness in him, he would be running away and banging that in. So I'm quite pleased with that aspect of it. The fact we won, fair enough, not bothered. The big deal
All right,
starts-
Catherine Tate. Face
big deal-
bothered. Face
the big deal
bothered.
starts next week. And up until that, you know, it's another trophy as such, but it's nothing to get like worked up about or to get shouting your mouths about, to be honest.
No, I hear that. I hear that. I mean, let's get Jamie Bailey. You wanted to jump in because you were actually there as well. What was it like? What was it like at Wembley? Without pitch talk. What was it like at Wembley yesterday? And yeah, what was it? What was it like?
Unfortunately, there was a lot more fans from the Arsenal side than there were Man City fans. If it's Wembley, I think it still should be filled up by both sets of fans. That's my general synopsis of the Wembley game. But again, when you're being fried out of it, and I heard today that somebody was almost having to pay £170 for a standard ticket, for 2 standard tickets, so I was like, okay, fair enough. You're not really going to get much if you're doing things like that. I was sitting behind the goal when I was sitting behind the third goal. Especially the first 2 goals were the other ends towards Man City's end, and the third goal, I was surprised because I just about got back to my seat because my cousin works in the stadium.
Oh, I was gonna say that third goal came on the hour mark. Wow, you must have been talking for ages. That's one of them ones like when me and the G-Man bumped into you in Shepherd's Bush, and we talked for so long that the G-Man had to go, and we ended up talking about Vader.
Yeah, pretty much. That was basically how long it was. I was thinking, hang on, this is a good while. And then I got back to my seat and
I paid 60 quid for this ticket. Let me go.
No, I sat down for about 2 minutes and I was like, wow, that's a decent goal. Again, everybody says that Man City didn't put out their best, and yes, I do actually believe that.
Oh no, that I don't think it was a case. I don't think it was a case of that. I mean, was it Pellegrini was making his excuses the day before? Oh, we've got 6 players missing. With the amount of money Man City have spent, that's not an excuse. So shut your face. But it was one of them ones that at the same time it was like they just looked sluggish. It looked really poor.
Yeah,
and Arsenal looked lively from the get-go.
Well, I think because they only returned on Tuesday from America.
See, you know what? See, again, that's not an excuse for me. At the end of the day,
I'm not making excuses.
No. But the commentary team, I listened to, I think it was the Fox Sports feed where Martin Tyler and Stuart Robson were on commentary, and they were talking about, our City have been jetting around and jetting back from America and all that, and I'm thinking to myself, no, that's not, mate. That's your own fault. That's your own bloody fault. You can't tell me, oh yeah, I got sunburnt because I went out sunbathing. Well, you didn't have to go out sunbathing. Man City did not have to go out to America, but at the end, but it's one of them ones. You guys, what's it? Man City want to become a big team and making the big money. I mean, you got to do it, but don't complain when you come back and you're groggy and you're jet lagged and all that. I'm sorry, but no. If you don't want to come back, no, but I'm just saying for those trying to make excuses for Man City, it's a case of, mate, if you don't want to come back jet lagged, don't go on holiday.
I'm not
It's quite a simple. It's quite a simple equation.
That are making excuses.
It's like what's it? It's like that Kermit the Frog meme that I've seen, or meme that I've seen going around. It's like we see some women spending stacks on their weave, but their kids are at home. Drinking their tears and eating DVDs. But that's none of my business. It's one of them. You see what I'm saying with this stuff? You're doing outlandish stuff that you don't really have to do, so you can't complain about it. It's one of them ones. If your kids are drinking their tears and eating DVDs because you want to spend money on your weave, you're a disgrace. But anyway, but that's none of my business. Where's Kermit and the Lipton, mate? It's none of my business.
Yeah.
I know Jazzy and G-Man are probably thinking, oh god, he's just brought that up. But
yeah, I was just looking at it for most of the game. It was subdued sort of way of looking at the game, especially from sort of the Man City side of things, because they didn't have that many. There was a very much partisan crowd. With Arsenal, we just turned out in our forces, and we knew that they were coming to our backyard. And yes, Big T, I did say that. But I'm hoping that we've actually used this as momentum, not only for just not for the first 3 months of the season, but for the entire season. I think if we can actually get past the injuries, I think if everybody is definitely ready for without injuries, I don't think we have to buy another player. I think we've got enough there just to say, you know what, let's take on the Premiership and let's see if we can win it this time. I think we've got the actual squad to actually say we can go places with this team.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm personally making no judgments off the Community Shield and pre-season. I'm not making any at all because you end up looking a bit stupid. But it's.
I'm not making any judgments on.
But no, I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. But I'm just saying that's my person.
I'm just saying my prediction for if we're going on anything about the squad itself. Every single year we seem to have an injury around about October, and it seems to make a problem for the entire team until March. So I'm hoping that if everybody can stay injury-free, then this whole idea of Arsenal are never going to win anything if they can't keep their players injury-free is going to be out the window straight away, considering that there's going to be a whole load of them that's probably going to get injured again. And I'd rather just see all of them literally stay the way that they are. Just literally stay injury-free for most of the season. Probably not the entire season, but for most of the season at least.
Yeah, no, I hear that. But you know what? The final result we're going to go over it. So Liverpool 4, Borussia Dortmund 0. Daniel Sturridge opening and scoring with a very, very nicely taken finish on 11 minutes. Dejan Lovren scoring on 15 minutes on his debut for the club. I love the little bit of banter between Sturridge and Lovren. You see Sturridge run up to Lovren and go, "You trying to?" For me, it looked like he actually said, "You trying to take my position as a striker?" Ah! It was quite funny. But then Philippe Coutinho, oh my God, slick goal, and Sterling's ball to him, fantastic on 50 minutes, and Jordan Henderson's goal on 62 minutes. If it had gone in on the first phase of play, it would have been amazing. But then when Sturridge kept the ball in on the slow motion replay, the whole ball was out. But it happened so quickly, it's difficult to say. But as one of them was Henderson's goal, fantastic. Good way to sign off from pre-season. Players are looking sharp. We'll see what happens next week when we got Southampton first game of the season at home. So one of them ones. Southampton actually directly tie into general talking points. So in a second, we'll swing over to general talking points. But first, we'd like to give a few shout-outs. Shout-outs to insitu.co, our official facilities provider for your Monday Night Footballing Fix. The facilities you see us in, provided by insitu.co. Create, engage, inspire. Also, apparentlyrich.com, simple yet effective web solution to get your company off the ground. Our official web production partner. Also, LJA Productions, the new blood in digital video. LJAProductions.co.uk, our official video production partner and provider for your Monday Night Footballing Fix. Also, Simply Exclusive Entertainment at official_SXE on Twitter. If you need a party or rave film, hit up SXE as well. So, you know what? It's time, baby. It's time for us to pause that track because we're not in the twilight as the track is. We're not in the twilight, baby. But it is time for us to destined to get over the hurdle. I love it. You know what? We need to swing on to quite a bit of
General talking points.
Jazzy, Are you gonna sing with me? Or will you leave me on my own to sing and sound foolish? But it's funny to sing even when you can't. I'm not going for X Factor. The only X Factor I cared about was the group with just Incredible, Albert, and X Pac. Yes, that is another OWR. This is your Monday Night Footballing. As Jesse in the Skype chat has just told me to stop, but I just can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. What? Yeah. I like the way, 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 I like the way. Yeah! Let's jump into General Talking Points. Yeah, we're going to start with Swansea. Chico Flores leaves to join Michael Laudrup in Qatar from the 9th of August 2014. Chico Flores left Swansea City to join Qatari club Lequia SC, where ex-Liberty Stadium boss Michael Laudrup is in charge. The Spanish defender, who's 27, could be followed out of the Premier League side by fellow countryman Jose Cañas. Barcelona announced the Vermaelen deal on the August 10th, 2014. Barcelona announced they've agreed the signing of Thomas Vermaelen from Arsenal on a 5-year contract. Reports surfaced on Friday that the two clubs had agreed a price for Vermaelen believed to be in the region of £15 million, with the Spanish side beating off competition from Manchester United. Sorry, I couldn't help that dramatic pause there. Jordan Much transfers from QPR to Cardiff City on a 4-year contract. The midfielder is Harry Redknapp's third signing of the summer. Much scored 7 goals for Cardiff last season. That was from Tuesday, 5th of August 2014. It was for an undisclosed fee. Jack Rodwell completed his move from Manchester City to Sunderland on the 5th of August 2014. We did kind of go over it last week, but we just wanted to give confirmation this week that the 23-year-old actually joined Sunderland for an undisclosed fee, thought to be in the region of £10 million. Aston Villa have acquired fullback Ali Sissoko from Valencia for an undisclosed fee. The 26-year-old French left-back who spent last season on loan at Liverpool has signed a 4-year deal with Aston Villa. Fraser Forster has signed for Southampton for £10 million on August 10th, 2014. Southampton signed Celtic's England international goalkeeper Fraser Forster on a 4-year contract for a fee in the region of £10 million. Premier League referee Howard Webb has actually retired to take up a technical role in the game. Howard Webb has retired from professional refereeing to become the new technical director of the Professional Game Match Officials Limited, PGMOL. The 43-year-old, widely regarded as one of the best referees ever produced in England and highly respected in the world game, brings to an end a 25-year career to be responsible for overseeing the on-field performances of PGMOL match officials. Webb said, "I'm very excited to start this new chapter in my career after a wonderfully rewarding 25 years on the pitch." I've spent over a decade with the best seat in the house for Barclays Premier League matches, been lucky enough to be involved in 9 major international tournaments, to take a charge of the UEFA Champions League and FIFA World Cup finals. Refereeing has given me so much, and I think it's important that match officials who have had the rewards remain in the game to pass on their knowledge. That's very important, actually. And there were a load of funny memes to do with this, which we'll get into later. But in terms of these transfers, I just want to say first and foremost, Chico Flores leaving was a bolt out of the blue, and once again it's this exodus from Swansea. since that team that got to the Europa League and won the Capital One Cup final against Bradford, it's one of them ones. There's been quite an exodus. So it's a mad one. But also the Thomas Vermaelen one. Even though Vermaelen hasn't been at his best over the past year, and it's been Koscielny and Mertesacker together, it's a case of no, Jazzy, don't worry, it was an honest mistake. Wink, wink. But no, it's one of them was where Mertesacker, not Ballsacker and Koscielny, Mertesacker, Koscielny. Mertesacker. I'm getting myself all in the twist. But it's one of them ones where I can't. I mean, Arsenal getting rid of Vermaelen, they have to have a replacement lined up. I mean, Callum Chambers, nah, I don't think so. But not yet, anyway. But 15 million for a player who's on the fringes of their side is actually not bad business. Jordan Much was a surprise to go from Cardiff to QPR, but I guess he just wants to stay in the Premiership, so can't blame him. Jack Rodwell going to Sunderland, as I said last week, he shouldn't have moved to Man City in the first place. So it was one of them ones. Reina completing his transfer from Liverpool to Bayern Munich, thought to be in the region of £4 million. I'm sad to see him go. I wish him nothing but the best. Obviously, he didn't want to play second fiddle. Even though we're back in the Champions League, so I can't blame him for that. I can't begrudge him for wanting to leave and for Bayern Munich. I can't begrudge him. So it's one of them ones. I'm looking for that. Ali Sissoko going to Villa. I think he'll do better for Villa than he will for Liverpool because he won't have as much pressure on him and as much will be expected of Ali Sissoko at Villa. Fraser Forster going to Southampton. That's a fantastic deal. Artur Boruc is 32, 33, and Fraser Forster is 26. Fantastic. I think that's a very, very good deal. And for 10 million, it's a better deal than Craig Gordon to Sunderland, I'll say that much. Howard Webb retiring to take up a technical role. I think that's very good as well because that's one thing that football I don't think does enough. Football and wrestling are similar in that sort of way where, well, I'd say WWE and say the Premier League / FA don't do enough in terms of looking to the future. Now, also looking at Chelsea with the Lukaku-Drogba thing. I mean, Lukaku could have studied under the learning tree of Drogba and become amazing. Could have happened. But the fact that they've got Howard Webb, probably out and out the best referee in the country, got him. You're gonna have him passing on his knowledge and referees studying under the learning tree of one of the best. Fantastic stuff. Gotta say it's fantastic stuff, and it's a good move. It should happen more often. So, right. That's what I reckon. Jazzy, you still there?
Nope.
No, bugger off. Your microphone privileges have been revoked.
I'm sorry, you must think my name's Mike.
Oh, man. Anyway. No, go on, Jesse. What do you reckon on these things, man?
No, I think the Vermaelen deal is quite interesting for me personally. I think it's a good bit of business for Barcelona. I think they're trying to finally solve their, central defensive issues by the numbers. Because I know they've also signed Jeremy Mathieu from Valencia. I mean, he used to play left back and centre back when he was playing in France for Toulouse, I believe, if my memory serves.
Yeah. Oh, also, Man City have actually signed Porto defender Mangala for 32 million as well. I just wanted to throw that
in the defensive midfield position.
Yeah.
So that helps. Jack Rodwell transfer to Sunderland is very, very interesting for me. It was reported that he took a swipe at City with one of his statements saying essentially that young English talent like that shouldn't bother to sign for City. So I thought that was quite interesting. I personally am hoping that he can revive his career.
Yeah.
In that move.
Well, on the flip side of Man City, I don't know if you heard that or not, but they've signed Mangala for 30. They've signed Mangala for 32 mil. So it's a case of obviously City are kind of moving on with their signings, but Rodwell was a forgotten man.
I think he's going to play in the centre of defence alongside
Vinny, innit? Yeah.
And I think that pairing, once they work out all of the kinks and teaming problems, should be pretty good.
For Man City's sake, they're hoping it's not going to be Demichelis and company, where Demichelis was a liability at club level, and then in the World Cup was fantastic. I would say that. I mean, Jesse, do you want to carry on in terms of your views?
So, as I was saying about Jack Rodwell, I think that this move could save his career, but he needs to prove his fitness. He needs to play for the whole season.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he needs to play well. It's as simple as that. I remember when he was at Everton, he was one of the fastest rising young talents in English football at that point in time. And I really do think that the big money move, and I personally don't.
Oh, Jesse, you still there?
Weird dress.
Jesse, you mind repeating that? You keep dropping out. Your audio keeps dropping.
Oh, man. I was there making good, interesting points and everything. But no, I was saying that the big money move to Man City derailed his career. And I'm hoping that him going to Sunderland, where theoretically he should play week in, week out, will help his development, and that he can refine the form that he had at Everton before he went to City.
No, I hear that. I mean, Jesse, what do you reckon on the others as well, and especially Howard Webber? Oh, all right. I guess we'll have to come back to Jesse in a sec. But you know what? I mean, Russ Vernon, you wanted to jump in as well. Russ, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, I did, Liam.
Yeah, go on. How about it?
The computer just stopped for a moment there. That's why I was a bit delayed.
Nah, cool. How about it quickly? Because Mark Harneman wants to jump in too.
Yeah, on the Thomas Vermaelen one, I think is a very good move for him. I think we weren't going to be getting much game time this season for Arsenal, because I think Koscielny and Mertesacker would probably be the main central defensive partnership for the Gunners this season. Juan Howard Webb, I think, has an amazing career in refereeing, and I think it was the right time for him to step down and help out the up-and-coming referees with helping him and give some advice. And Liam, I'd just like to mention a transfer which you've not mentioned, which has gone through earlier today.
Well, as long as it's quick, because Mike's waiting to jump in.
Yeah, it is. Reading have completed the signing of Anton Ferdinand on a 2-year deal. He joined earlier on today. Anton Ferdinand said it feels fantastic to sign for a club like Reading. The first thing you feel when you come here is the family environment.
You know what?
A bit of verse from Anton Ferdinand.
You know what? There's a brilliant quote actually from one of our Pitch Talk Meets guests, and that's John Sitton, who said Anton Ferdinand couldn't sense danger. What's it? He wouldn't. Was it? He couldn't sense danger if you lit his big toe on fire with a Bunsen burner. I love that quote about Anton Ferdinand. He couldn't sense danger if you lit his big toe with a Bunsen burner. Love it. Love it. No, thanks for that transfer, dude, Russ. Mike Harneman, you want to jump in as well? Mike, you wanted to jump in about Forster and Rodwell?
Yeah, and also Vermaelen and one or two of the other transfers as well.
Of course. How about it?
Okay, right. The Vermaelen one, I'm 100% agreeing with Jamie. We do have to sign a centre-back. Chambers won't be ready for at least a couple of seasons. 3 to 4 seasons is probably going to be about his sort of time to step up. So yeah, we definitely got to go out and sign a replacement for Vermaelen there, or maybe even 2 more centre backs. I think on the other transfers, Rodwell to Sunderland is a great transfer for him. I think he's going to get a lot more game time there. He's going to be a lot more of a regular, and he's basically going to have the chance to sort of show what kind of a player that he really is. And with Fraser Forster as well, I think it's going to be a brilliant signing for Southampton. Bit of competition for Borac, and I think he will be the number one. I think Forster will have to work hard to outdo Borac, but I think he will do it eventually. And it's a lot of serious competition as well. Like with Ospina coming to Arsenal, it's not a serious out-and-out number one there now.
That's good stuff. No, I think it is good. I think it is good to always have competition in every position. You want it because it helps keep the standards up. I mean, again, another OWR. Look at WWE. Their product has been poor. Their product has not been. Their product from 2001 onwards has not been anywhere near as good as it was 96 to 2001 because they ain't got competition. So your standards slip. Jamie Bailey, you wanted to jump in on these signings as well?
Sorry. Yeah, one of the signings, Chambers. It was a good buy for Arsenal, but to be honest with you, you're spending 16 million on a player that's not actually done anything in the world. Yeah. To be honest with you, that's the fallback.
Well, I mean, it's one of them ones. I mean, we had that debate. I think it was like a week or two ago when it happened. But
all right. In terms of Fraser Forster, there is now going to be competition for Joe Hart because if you look at it, Joe Hart has been slipping in the standards of coaching, and as much as everybody tells you that he hasn't, you know what he has. Essentially, that as soon as he got the adverts for Head and Shoulders. And he was pretty much at the top for everyone. It's like everybody just looked at him and said, you know what, he's the best goalkeeper around for England. Now he's got some competition. Let's see how good he is if he actually gets dropped by Roy Hodgson, which I don't think he will do. But when it comes to Roy Hodgson in England, he's a yes man. And if Roy Hodgson does get England to Euros, they're not going to do any better than they did in the World Cup. They might get through the group stages, but to be honest with you, he's only there just to make sure that the numbers are right.
Well, let's not speculate on that yet, because come back.
I've witnessed.
But come back.
Like I said, I've seen it once. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it again.
Well, wait, hold on. You've witnessed. You've witnessed that we're not going to do that well in the Euros. Wait, hold on. Hey, yeah, I need you for the lottery numbers. It's like Nostradamus and Notre Dame.
If England wanted a proper manager, they wouldn't have signed Roy Hodgson.
Well, you know, at the moment, well, let's not divert off that. Let's not divert off the issue. At the moment, it's just what do you reckon of the transfers? Let's keep to the
transfers in general. Jack Rodwell did not need to say anything about Man City. You've had your time there. You've done what you had to do. Yes, you didn't perform to your best of standards. You've now moved on. Hopefully you have a good season. Jordan Much, Stephen Coker, Rio Ferdinand. Well done, Harry Redknapp, just signing good, decent players just to keep your signings ticking over. And with Glenn Hoddle there as well, somebody's pretty much pointed it out that Glenn Hoddle's really going to make a difference as a coach. Also, who else is there? There was a few other signings that really didn't jump out at me because I'm not surprised by what.
Well, there was Ali Sissoko, Reina going to Bayern Munich, and also Chico Flores as well.
None of those are surprises to me.
Why?
For the simple fact, Ali Sissoko not getting into where was he at again? Valencia or PSG?
Yeah, it was Valencia. But he was on loan. He was on loan with us, Liverpool, as I wear the live bird upon my chest. As well, he was with us last season, and he was pretty poor for me.
He was at Liverpool last season, and all of a sudden I was at Aston Villa, and that was from the fact that Senderos, if you look at it, Senderos was where? At Fulham. Went to Valencia. Valencia said we don't need him. Damn.
I don't think anybody really needs Senderos.
Oh, that's the Villa, dude. Same thing with Mangala. Why would you sign a player that has no proven experience in the Champions League at 32 million? That's just saying that Porto need the money just to get out of their debt bonds. Same thing with Anton Ferdinand. He was doing so well out in Dubai, I think it was. Now all of a sudden Turkey. And now all of a sudden you've decided just to drop back into England for family reasons. Is that going to be your best reason for football? No. Again, most of these are not surprises. Pepe, you got to think about it. He's going from a person who's not Spanish, who's not not a Spanish manager at Liverpool to a Spanish manager at Bayern Munich.
Well, yeah, he's being reunited with his former captain. So
yeah, but it's as simple as it gets. Manchester, he doesn't need to be at a team where the manager is going to be England.
Oh, that's bugger all to do with it. At the end of the day,
It's got everything to do with it.
Not at all. He doesn't want to play second fiddle.
He's going to be with a manager that knows his system and knows the way that he wants to play. Now that Casillas is sort of flagged a bit, they're going to be looking at the next few years and bringing in the new product.
Yeah, but that won't be Reina. It's more, but that won't be Reina.
Still got experience over David De Gea.
Yeah, but David De Gea, because of his youth, that's gonna work in his favour. If he has a good season for United, it's gonna be. If he has a good season this coming season for United, then boy, he's gonna be promoted to Spain's #1. So it's one of them ones. I don't think Reina's going to get that chance because Reina's what? 30, I think. So it's a case of. Yeah, I think that ship has sailed.
Something to give a preference to in terms of experience.
Yeah, but he's going to be a backup singer. No, with no offense to Pepe Reina, he's going to be a backup singer, and that's exactly why he left Liverpool, because he didn't want to be a backup singer. He really didn't. He wanted to be the #1, but you can't justify dropping Simon Mignolet, who was #1 last year, for Reina. And Reina's wage demand scuppered the move to Napoli.
Yeah, but the reason why he's gone to it's pure and simple. The reason why he's gone to that club is simply because of Pep Guardiola. That's it, pure and simple.
We'll agree to disagree on that one, because at the end of the day, he could have went to Napoli, but it was the wage demands that scuppered the deal. So
yeah, but he wasn't looking at when you're looking at Bayern Munich, you're looking at the wage demands, and you're looking at what the manager is bringing to you. Napoli have won what in the last 10 years? Bayern Munich have won what in the last 3? That's the difference.
Reina wasn't looking at that, but anyway, let's agree to disagree, because we got a few other people that actually want to get their opinions in as well. I mean, Mike Kahneman, did you want to jump in? Because I like that about Forster, Boruc and Hart. That's quite an interesting view you've had in the Skype chat.
I think basically with Forster, what could happen is he could really challenge Joe Hart for England's #1 position. Because I've got a feeling that he'll be really good competition for Artur Boruc at Southampton. And then Joe Hart isn't a regular, isn't necessarily going to be regular #1 at Man City now with, is it Carvalho signing?
Yeah, Willie Carvalho, yeah.
And basically, I think if he can sort of get into the Southampton team and stay regular, stay fit, have a couple of good performances in there as well, Roy Hodgson's going to have a serious bit of thinking to do with really there, because Forster is a good goalie. I think get him into that England team, and he'll stay there as well. So Joe Hart really has to be on his game.
Of course, and that's what you want. That's the kind of dilemma you want for a team, especially an international team. So. It's one of them ones. I mean, Caballero is probably going to be better competition than Castelbantrimon. So, one of them ones. Leave it like that. But you know what, yeah? It's one of them ones. We ain't done. We're far from done on the show yet. We are far from done. So, it is time for us to move on to another point. Sam Greenham actually wanted to quickly mention something in terms of a transfer to Hull. Sam, did you want to mention that quickly?
Yeah, it's just a quick one. Two new signings for Hull, Harry Maguire and Andy Robertson, both made the debut in a Hull 2-1 win against Stuttgart in Germany over the weekend, and Andy Robertson scored his first goal, which was the winner. So well done, Andy Robertson. Just a quick one there.
How do you think them guys are going to do going forward in terms of in the Premier League? Sam?
Harry Maguire, I'm not too sure he'll be a starter at the minute. It depends what we're going to do formation-wise. If we go 5 at the back, I think he'll be starting with Davies and Chester. But if we're going to play the more midfield role, now we've got Snodgrass and Ince, I think he'll be more of a bench player, kind of coming off the cup games, maybe get a player gets injured. But Robertson, I think, will be starting because Figueroa, I don't think is good enough, to be honest, anymore. I think he's a bit past his time. And we've just sent Joe Dudgeon out on loan for a month to Barnsley, I think. So I think Robertson will be starting, but I don't think Harry Maguire will yet, dependent on formation.
No, I heard that. See, it's interesting that Hull are making moves in the transfer window. It's good to see that everyone's trying to strengthen, at least trying. Blackpool need to strengthen, by the way. They had like 9 registered players over the weekend, and they're getting battered. So it's one of them.
We're all going to send our CVs off to Blackpool, see if we can get a contract or something between us.
I'm tempted. I might only be able to play midweek.
Above me, mate. Above me.
Yeah, I love it. But you know what? It is time for the show to get a little more seasoned as we move and groove onto yet another segment. And this section, no, I am not like Ledley King. Let's not get that wrong. But anyway, let's roll. Gary Clip. Oh, God. We know Big T's back. With the troublemaking in the Skype chat, we know Big T's back. I love it. We gonna throw them T's up, man. But international continental talking points. Martin Stecklenburg joins AS Monaco on loan from 9th of August 2014. Fulham keeper Martin Stecklenburg has joined Monaco on a season-long loan. The French outfit confirmed the deal on their website on Saturday. Stecklenburg, who's 31, joined Fulham for £4 million from AS Roma in June 2013, but failed to live up to expectations and missed out on selection for Holland's World Cup squad and told Cottage's boss Felix Magath he wanted to leave. I always said I'm gonna come back to my view on that one actually. Inter Milan have signed Gary Medel for £10 million. Inter Milan have signed Gary Medel from Cardiff City after meeting the £10 million asking price for the Chile World Cup player. Only the timetable of payments needed to be agreed between the two clubs in prolonged talks. Medel, who's 27, was Cardiff's £11 million record signing for Spanish side Sevilla in August 2013. He made 34 appearances for Cardiff in the Premier League, and they obviously, of course, was part of that team who were relegated last season. A couple of international retirements, actually. Didier Drogba retires from the Ivory Coast. Chelsea striker Didier Drogba on August 8th, 2014, announced his retirement from international football with the Ivory Coast. Drogba, who's 36, who last month rejoined Chelsea, as we mentioned. Following a 2-season absence with spells in China and Turkey, made his 104th and final appearance for the Elephants during the World Cup in Brazil. The Ivory Coast captain was unable to help guide his nation past the group stage, with a late penalty for Greece from Giorgio Samaras sealing the African side's fate. The early exit in Brazil meant the Ivory Coast had failed to reach knockout stages in 3 consecutive World Cups, also going out of the group stage in 2006, the nation's maiden tournament, and 2010. Drogba also suffered further disappointment with national side in the African Nations Cup. The striker participated in final defeats to Egypt in 2006 and Zambia in 2012. He made his international debut in 2002 and went on to win 104 caps, scoring 64 goals in the process. Now, Xavi Hernandez Xavi has quit Spain duty, and this was from the 5th of August 2014. Barcelona and Spain midfielder Xavi Hernandez has announced his retirement from international football. The 34-year-old won the World Cup and 2 European Championships with his country. He was capped 133 times, more than any other Spanish outfield player, and scored 13 goals. Xavi told a news conference in Barcelona on Thursday, "I'm grateful for all those years. It has been a fantastic time." He made his full debut for Spain on the 15th of November 2008, 20 against Holland. He said, "I'm not 20 anymore, but I still have the motivation of a kid," he said. Xavi was voted player of the tournament in the 2008 European Championships as Spain ended a 44-year wait for a major international trophy and began a period of domination on the world stage. They started the World Cup in 2014 in Brazil as one of the favourites, but were dumped out of the tournament in the group stages after a defeat by 5-1 by Holland and 2-0 loss to Chile. So, 133 international caps, 13 goals, 2 European Championships and a World Cup for Xavi as he retires from international duty. But also, another person who retired from international duty is Miroslav Klose. Germany's all-time leading goal scorer Miroslav Klose has announced his retirement from international football today, the 11th of August 2014. The 36-year-old Lazio striker helped his country win the World Cup in the summer, becoming the record scorer in the tournament's history, taking over the original Ronaldo R9's record. Klose, who totaled 71 goals in 137 internationals, became the third player to score at 4 World Cup finals. "I am happy and proud to have contributed to this big success for German football," said Klose. Poland-born Klose, who scored twice in the tournament in Brazil to surpass Brazilian Ronaldo's competition record of 16 goals, said the time was right to end the 13-year career with the German national team. He is the second member of the Germany team to quit after the tournament following captain Philipp Lahm last month. So, his international achievements were World Cup. He was a winner in 2014, runner-up in 2002, third place in 2006 and 2010, and European Championship runner-up in 2008. Now, you know what? It's one of them ones. Very interesting. Closer. What more can be said? Again, like with Philipp Lahm, bowed out on an absolute high, and you could actually put Miroslav Klose in that legends bracket of strikers, because at the end of the day, hey, he is the highest scoring player in World Cups. So, and he's got a World Cup trophy to his name. So, calling time on a fantastic career. Now some of the others in terms of Xavi, again, that's another one. What more can you say? He might have gone out on a bit of a low, but that low compared to the highs of winning 2 European Championships, it's almost like D'Lo Brown winning a 2-time European champion. I think D'Lo Brown won 5. But anyway, it's one of them ones. Being a 2-time European champion and a World Cup winner, that's one of them records. Miroslav Klose's record is fantastic, but he's got 1 World Cup and no European Championships. You look at Xavi now, it's like, well, it's just fantastic. But then you look at Didier Drogba is an interesting one, because Didier Drogba retiring from the Ivory Coast. Drogba is a legend, but for different reasons to Xavi and Miroslav Klose. Because Drogba was one of those players where you look at when Ivory Coast played Japan in that game that I actually watched, that game with Nathan Arsenal, aka Nathan McCreef, so big shout out to him. He came on and changed the game single-handedly. You look at Chelsea's Champions League win. He was the one. He was the man who got that equalising goal and turned the tide. But in terms of, oh crap, Earnshaw and Gervinho, loading afro, 50%. That meme is hilarious. But it's one of them ones where, I said, Drogba was so much more to the Ivory Coast than just another player. I mean, there was an ITV4 documentary, Sports Life Stories, that's it. Sports Life Stories, Didier Drogba. That was very, very interesting, because when there was unrest in the Ivory Coast, Drogba led the other players in terms of calling for there to be an end to the bloodshed at that time. So Drogba was more than just another player. he was one of them. He was a leader. He was a talisman for the Ivory Coast. Very similar for Chelsea as well after that first season. It was amazing. So it's one of them. But Martin Stecklenburg is quite an odd transfer because his best times were at Ajax. I mean, when Fulham signed him and the deal was done, I was like, it would have been a bit more significant if he'd gone straight from Ajax, because that's when he was on his hot streak. Gary Medel, I'm surprised Cardiff let him go, but at the end of the day, Championship football compared to Serie A, someone like Medel is always going to move. So that's a big blow for Cardiff, though. It's a huge blow. So that's all I can say. I mean, Jezzy, you still there? Jezzy?
Nope.
This guy keeps saying no. But Jezzy, you want to have your view on these retirements and the two transfers?
Yeah, no. I think Xavi and Klose, for me, they deserve that legendary title. I have to say that, you know, Klose being the all-time goal scorer, leading goal scorer in the World Cup, and then he's the World Cup winner and the all-time leading goal scorer. So I don't know how you can get more legendary than that, to be honest. In terms of Xavi, most capped outfield player for Spain, right? Wins 2 European Championships, wins the World Cup.
Yep.
Arguably one of the best midfielders of a generation, period.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about in Spain, I'm not just talking about in Europe, I'm talking about worldwide.
Yeah. I mean, worldwide. I mean, him being one of the best worldwide. I mean, it's amazing. It legitimately is. I mean, Jesse, you okay?
Yeah, no, I was gonna kind of piggyback on your point about Didier Drogba, right? And I know a lot of people won't necessarily call him international legend, but me personally, in terms of African football, I would say he is.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say he is, don't just look at his goal scoring record, which is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah. One of us, don't just look at the goal scoring record. What else should we look at?
Well, no. When I say that he's a legend for African football, you have to look at, in my opinion, the things that he's doing outside of football to help the region. And he is doing a lot of charitable work that a lot of people don't necessarily know about.
Yeah, just like the Didier Drogba Foundation as well.
Yeah. So when you go and look at that, combined with the fact that, you know, he was a very, very important figure in modern Chelsea history, and
an important figure in modern Chelsea history. Jezzy, did you want to carry on with that?
Legendary state. No, I was saying that when you combine the fact that he's done all of this stuff outside of football and is a big part of modern Chelsea history and has done what he's done representing the Ivory Coast, you can't really argue with that. And like you said, he was talismanic, not just for the Ivory Coast, but for Chelsea as well. And I think when you really look back on the history of the Ivory Coast national team, he has made an indelible mark on it.
No, I hear it.
Ivory.
Oh, sorry, Jazzy, you want to repeat that?
Yeah,
you want to repeat that?
Yeah, no, I was saying that the only player that can really follow him in any kind of meaningful way would be Yaya Toure.
Was for African football or specifically for the Ivory Coast?
Both.
What about Samuel Eto'o then? In that regard, I personally wouldn't hold Eto'o in as high a regard personally. What would you reckon?
I would say he did when he feel that he still has a lot to offer the national team. I still feel that, you know, in terms of his work that he does outside of football, probably not as high profile as Didier Drogba. But I still think that, again, when you look at his goal scoring record, when you look at what he's won in domestic football, he's an icon of African football. It needs to be said.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I mean, it's what I said. I just can't hold Eto'o in the same regard as a Drogba, and that's Sports Life Stories. Because I haven't seen, like, say, in Sports Life Stories, Didier Drogba, seeing what he does outside of the game and what he's done. I said, with that thing when there was bloodshed in the Ivory Coast, and he came out and was like, please stop the bloodshed, and he had that sort of impact. I've not seen Eto'o do that, so that would be why I wouldn't be able to hold him in the highest esteem. That's Sports Life Stories. When I saw some of the stuff that Drogba had done, and it was fact, and it was like, you know what, it softened my previously harsh opinions on Didier Drogba a bit. So, you know, when you get a level of mutual respect for someone, it's like, okay, cool. Like someone, like, you see examples of someone like, say, Ravel Morrison and those allegations, and then you see someone like Didier Drogba setting up foundations for children who are impoverished or in impoverished families and areas. Then you gotta have a level of respect for what someone like Drogba is doing. No matter what you feel about them on the pitch, how many times they scored against your team, you gotta have a level of respect. So one of them was. But yeah, that's it. If any of the Skypers want to jump in, then let us know. I mean, Big T, did you want to jump in on these?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to jump in. I mean, Drogba, I think he's going to be missed, especially because not only for what he's done on the footballing pitch, but outside of what else he's been doing. I mean, we've all noticed the marketing publications he's been doing with regards to, like, the shampoo brands, etc. I mean, it's quite amazing what he's been doing with, like, Jovino, etc. I mean, it's like one of those. I don't know if you've all seen that film, Fun with Dick and Jane. It's like one of those partnerships that seems to be just, you know, it's astonishing that they're making this much success out of a brand of hair shampoo. It's just, I think it's something that they should definitely look into. I mean, it's, you know, when you retire from football, we've seen all these people go into, like, you know, I can't even say the word, but go into silence so you don't see him again. If Drogba and Jovino did more of these shampoo adverts, I think they make a lot more money doing that, and it's just a case of, you want to get more. It's sometimes it's all about money, isn't it? Because we see all these greedy footballers who try to make their way by getting all the money they can. I mean, look at people like I don't know. If there's so many people I could say. I mean, Eto'o, he's probably moved to Ajax for the money. But the fact of the matter is, we need more people like Jovino and Drogba, who are not only legends in their own countries, but they're legends in the world because of what they do outside of football. Yes, they visit schools, and I don't mean like that. They visit places which can be visible for the world to see. But the fact that they're doing stuff to make things more beneficial to the world, Drogba with his shampoo, Jovino with his banjo, I could say a massive list, but the fact of the matter is they are both legends in their own right. They deserve a lot of respect for the way they've gone about the business, and quite frankly, I think there will be a lot more players who will reach out to them and say, you know what, I want to be just like you. Well, not like the forehead, but I don't mean in a horrible way, but I just want to be like you on a footballing ability, a leader, a man who can go on there and go, you know what, I know how to attack, I know how to get the ball, and I know how to score goals. And I still think Drogba's got a lot to give it in at Chelsea, so good luck to him.
No, I hear that. I hear that. No, totally. I mean, you know what? It is about that time. Just as Big T finishes his view, it's about that time for us to move on as it happens. So, it's time for us. I said because we are now hitting the home straight of the show, baby. We're hitting the home straight. And that's just stupid. It's one of them ones. I'm in bad shape. Yeah. Anyway, it's time for us to move on to the final segment of the show, which is
Stuff of the week.
Where's Jazzy to see with me? Cause it on back up when I'm singing. Stuff of the week has returned. It's back with Football League. It's back. I love it. This is Fish Talk. Every Monday night with my brilliant singing, with a line of blood upon my chest. All about football talk and the banter. We love Pitch Talk. Your Monday night football and fix. Oh, because it's Monday night. Oh, and it's Pitch Talk. Bad joke is terrible. That is cruel. No, that Big T's joke in the Skype chat is cruel. Oscar Pistorius has sacked his legal team. He has hired Celtics as he heard you can lose both legs and still win. No! Oh, good God. Good gravy, that is cruel. Let's go with stuff of the week, and let's start with goal of the week. Oh, you know what? That's quite funny, actually. That's quite funny. Celtic have been reinstated to the Champions League after Warsaw bringing on an ineligible player. That's the most popular substitute in Glasgow since Methadone. I gotta throw them teas up, man. That's funny. That's funny. Let's go for goal of the week. You know what? Yeah, Olivier Giroud deserves honourable mention, definitely. But I was actually very impressed by the build-up play for Jordan Henderson's goal. But I think because it's one of them. See, it's because of what the game meant as well. Yeah, in terms, I don't know. In terms of goal of the week, it is actually quite a difficult one because there were actually a lot of really good goals scored in the championship, especially. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Jesse, do you want to take your goal of the week before I take mine?
I have to give it to Olivier Giroud.
Yeah.
I personally do, just because, right? When was the last time you saw Olivier Giroud score a goal like that?
True.
Against a team of the stature of Manchester City. Generally speaking, he doesn't do it.
Yeah, not against the
so,
big ones.
You know, for it being a bolt out of the blue, for
it being a bolt out of the blue? Oh. Jesse, you want to come back in on it? Alright, for me, it's a case. I don't know, man. I mean, for me, there have been a couple of really good goals. But Kearney's goal for Blackburn Rovers, I think is a legit goal of the week contender. I have to put. I'm going to put that in. I'm going to put Kearney's goal. Honourable mention to Henderson's goal because of the build-up play, and honourable mention to Olivier Giroud. But Kearney for Blackburn Rovers against Cardiff has to get mine. Tom Wood, who you got for goal of the week?
Both goals that Leeds conceded against Millwall.
That's such a liberty. That is such a liberty. Let's go for Russ Vernon, goal of the week. Who you going for?
For me, Liam, it was a goal which happened in tonight's Capital One Cup match, which finished 2-0 to Derby, and it was the second goal for Derby County. A great ball in from Johnny Russell and a Chris Martin glancing header into the far post of the net for Derby to make it 2-0 in the 93rd minute. Derby progressed to round 2 in the Capital One Cup.
No, good shout. Mike Harneman, goal of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to give honourable mention to Giroud's goal of yesterday. Also honourable mention to Chris Whelpdale for scoring on your debut for Stevenage as well. That's at Chris Whelpdale on Twitter as well if you want to give him a follow. One of the new Stevenage signings. But the goal of the week for me has to be Giles Coke, the goal that he scored. I thought that was quite a good finish, to be honest.
Good shout. Very, very good shout. Sam Greenham, who you got for goal of the week?
I want to give a shout out to Tom Kearney. That was a very good goal. Yeah. But my goal of the week, Mark Oxley, goalkeeper on loan from Hull City at Hibs, scored from his own penalty area, lobbing the keeper at the other side of the pitch.
I heard about that.
I tell you what, mate, give it a watch. Good goal.
Jamie Bailey, goal of the week. Have you got it?
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna go with. It has to be George goal. That plus the goal that Ipswich scored, their second one, which actually consolidated Fulham's own position in the bottom of the league. Felix, wake up.
I did think Felix will be waking up anytime soon. But Big
Harry
T.
Potter in the future.
Oh crap, that's a liberty. Big T, who you got for goal of the week?
Well, honourable mention to Mills, both goals against Leeds. They blew me away, literally. Well, she did that night. But honourable, well, I'm actually going to give it to Dave Edwards of Wolves because he actually blew that one into the net. Goalkeeper got his right hand to it, but he's not going to get past his right hand because we know what happens when you break your right hand. So, good goal by Dave Edwards for Wolves. You get my goal of the week.
With some of what Big T says, it is a case of.
I don't know what the hell's going on here. Wait a minute. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
That's what I can say. I love it though. Yeah, I love it. So goal of the week. Let's move and groove on in terms of goal of the week. Yeah, we have had everyone. Let's go for player of the week. In terms of player of the week, who kind of stood out for me? Mankilo on his debut against Borussia Dortmund actually stood out for me. So I'm going to give him. Mankilo, not Mankini. Mankini, that's terrible. Mankilo was actually very, very impressive for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go for him as my player of the week. Tom Wood, player of the week.
The two players who scored against Leeds.
Everything against Leeds. Jazzy Fizzle, player of the week, man.
For me, it's got to be Aaron Ramsey.
I heard that. He's back, baby.
The reason why I'm going Aaron Ramsey is just because right about now he is everything that Arsenal fans were hoping that Jack Wilshere would be, and he is making that team tick. Right about now, when you look at this performance in the Community Shield, and of course towards the end of the season, he has shown why he is invaluable to the Arsenal team.
Great.
So, and let's not forget, he got the second goal of the game.
Yeah,
he's still scoring.
Yeah.
So, Arsenal have every chance of winning the Premier League. If he doesn't, that might be where things start to get a bit interesting.
Okay. So if Ramsey says, all right, that's an interesting one. Russ Vernon, goal of the week.
Goal? We've already done that, Liam.
Sorry, player of the week.
Player, yes. For me, Liam, I've got two players of the week. First one is Aaron Ramsey for his performance in the Community Shield yesterday for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And the second one is Dejan Lovren of Liverpool because I fell yesterday because we were watching the game. He had a magnificent debut, and if he starts in your defence next week, Southampton are going to struggle to get past him, and I think he can certainly score a day or two against them.
We'll see.
Lovren
is
my player of the week, along with Aaron Ramsey.
No, that's a good shout. I mean, with Dejan Lovren, we'll see. I mean, it's like Glenn Johnson wasn't really tested yesterday against Dortmund, so I don't know if he's redeemed himself among certain Liverpool fans who want him out. But yeah, anyway, let's go for Sam Greenham, player of the week.
I'd like to say Yannick Sagbo after his performance for City against Trenton last Thursday. They bossed the ball at the front, holding up play was absolutely amazing. Distribution. He had a top performance and got voted man of the match by the fans on the night as well.
I hear that. I'm surprised it wasn't Sonny Aluko who came off the bench to score. But, nah, it's good stuff though. Let's go. Player of the week, Mike Harneman. Player of the week.
I'm going to keep it pretty much Arsenal as well, and I'm going to say the one player that I thought stood out yesterday, one player who a lot of people haven't really mentioned too much about, who had a really good game for me in the left back position. Of course, it's Kieran Gibbs who I'm on about, and I think if he stays fit, then with his bombing runs forward, Debussy on the other side, who had another great game as well. Those two are my 2 players of the week.
Them two need to fix up defensively. But I've had that debate with you before. Jamie Bailey, player of the week.
I don't know. At the moment, I'm kind of. At the moment, I'm stuck with not choosing an Arsenal player because it seems like everybody seems to be going for an Arsenal player. I have to give it to McGoldrick. He's been out for 5 and a bit months, as he pointed out on Saturday, and comes back with a decent goal in the second half of the Ipswich against Fulham game. I'm also going to give it to a youngster and say this one you guys have got to look out for, Cameron Burgess, and the other one is Patrick Roberts. Okay. So there's a few big names coming up, and there's a few youngsters coming through the academy at Fulham, and trust me, this is a season for them just to do it. But they definitely need a manager to do it.
I hear that. Let's go for Big T, player of the week.
Well, honourable mention to my cousin last week for having a really good performance for my neighbour the other day. I'm going to say 20 minutes, it's well done. Oh, and by the way, my window is open, so if you can hear me, my camera's broke, so don't worry about it. But I'm actually going to say, I'm really going to give it on a serious note here. I'm going to give it to the referee between Arsenal and Man City in the Community Shield, because how the hell he didn't get high off that vanishing spray is beyond me. Because did you see how many times he was doing it during the game? I just kept thinking when I was having the beer watching match, thought to myself, mate, you're smoking and joking if you're going to keep using that vanish spray. And I'm telling you something right now, when that vanishing spray is used in the Johnson's paint match, I'm begging him to put me at the front row. I want to see what all this about, because I don't see why people are smiling about it. It's vanishing spray. You're not going to get high off it, are you? Unless you're Jack Wilshere, of course. But the referee from the Arsenal Man City game, get my player of the week.
Oh, you got to throw them teas up for that one. That's going to be part of a special feature in about a week or two. So in terms of vanishing spray, but Big T's comment about his cousin.
I don't know what the hell is going on here. Wait a minute. But I don't like it at all.
Sam Greenham, did you have another shout for player of the week?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was Moses Salmon. He was actually a player for Trenton. He's 19 years old from Nigeria, and he really did impress me. He's meant to be labelled by quite a lot of Eastern Europeans as the next big thing coming out of Africa. I was lucky enough to be in town on the day the Trenton fans arrived in the train station. I was talking to a couple of lads before the game, and they said he's one of the best players they've had in years. They really do rate him as one of the top players, and he really did impress me on the night. Just running all over the place, and he was involved in the build-up play for their goal with a few key passes. So yeah, Mersey Simon, keep an eye out.
I hear that. I mean, Jamie Bailey has said Manisha Taylor is player of the week, but for the same reasons as Drogba. That's high praise. That's actually very high praise for a friend of the show and one of our Pitch Talk Meets guests as well, Miss Manisha Taylor. Let's go team of the week. Watford and Ipswich deserve honourable mentions at the very least. But in terms of In terms of team of the week, I'm going to go Arsenal just because of the win in the Community Shield, the curtain raiser for the season. Arsenal were quality. They actually were quality against Man City. Jezzy Fizzle, who you going for team of the week?
Well, it's difficult to look past Arsenal. It really is. But having said that, I don't think I can give them team of the week.
It's a hard one because I would have given it to Liverpool if it was a competitive match, but it was pre-season, so I couldn't. But Jezzy, who you going for, man? Oh, I thought we might have to. Oh, Jezzy, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, go on. How about it? Who are you going to give team of the week to?
Like I say, it's difficult to look past Arsenal. You know what? I have to say this. Arsenal were really, really impressive. Not necessarily with the scoreline, not necessarily with the goals and how they were scored, but with the organisation that they showed.
No, I'll go for that. I'll definitely go for that. Let's go for Russ Vernon, team of the week.
Liam, for me, for my team of the week, they won of the weekend. They've won again tonight. Derby County, good 2 wins on the bounce. A good 2-0 win tonight, a good 1-0 win over Rotherham. And I'm going to give an honourable mention to Liverpool for their, even though it was only a friendly, their 4-0 win over Borussia Dortmund. And also an honourable mention to Wolverhampton Wanderers for kickstarting their championship season very well against Wolves yesterday.
I hear that. Tom Wood, who you going for? Team of the week?
Millwall.
This is everything against Leeds today. I almost know who his flop of the week is going to be. Sam Greenham, who you going for? Team of the week?
For Bournemouth with their 4-0 win, first weekend of the championship against Huddersfield. Did everything right, really, didn't they? 4 goals first game. Can't really complain.
Good shout. Very good shout. Mike Harneman, who you going for?
And Millwall.
Oh, that's Libby's. Mike Hardeman, who you going for team of the week?
I'm going to give honourable mentions to Bournemouth and also to Bristol City for going to Sheffield United and winning 2-1 there in the early game on Saturday, because they're 2 teams that will be up there. But I gave them flop of the week enough times last season for a very poor season, and I've basically got to say Stevenage for starting with a win, and hopefully going to keep that up tomorrow against Watford in the Capital One Cup, and to be honest, that's going to be a nice meaty game as well.
Meaty like pedigree chop. Jamie Bailey, team of the week.
I'm actually going to give it to Legia Warsaw for doing the absolute best that they could do on the pitch.
Okay.
Celtic for literally using their brains just to actually work out that there was any look of the player. Arsenal for actually putting in a performance for a trophy after watching what happened against Birmingham.
Are we going to be here all night? Okay.
Nah. And Millwall for taking out Leeds and showing Leeds that Torino, you don't need a yes man at the club level. You only need that for nationality level. That's it.
Oh, it's one of them was Chileno, you need a man. And to be the man, woo! You gotta beat the man. But Big T, who you going for?
Well, I'm split between 2. I was going to say Ralph Harris. No, I'm joking. I was going to say Manchester United. Well, technically Man United, but the bookies as well, because they're saying that Man U are going to win the league. But funny enough, he was smoking some at the time, so I'm just going to give it in for the fun of it. So Ladbrokes and Man United, just for saying that you're going to win the league, you get my team of the week.
Oh, yeah. It's classic. Alright, let's go flop of the week to round out. And my flop of the week, flop of the week, I can't pick between Legia Warsaw and Huddersfield. Huddersfield getting rid of a manager 1 game into a season, and Legia Warsaw for bringing on a man for 3 minutes that has actually cost them a potential Champions League place. Two Mong moves right there. Huddersfield and Legia Warsaw share it. Jezzy, who you going for? Jezzy! Alright, we'll have to come back to Jezzy Fizzle. Tom Wood, who you going for? Flop of the week. I could almost tell it. Who you going for?
The current lead squad, Dave Hockaday and Massimo Cellino.
Oh, God. Russ Mervyn, who you going for?
Even though they beat us, Liam, I'm going to give it to Millwall. You may be wondering why, but over the weekend and in his post-match press conference speaking to the written press, Ian Holloway sat for 20 minutes and slammed Millwall supporters. Because during the game against Leeds United, they were chanting about Jimmy Savile towards the Leeds United fans at the game, and also they had Galatasaray shirts and doing stabbing gestures towards the Leeds United fans during the game as well at the weekend. So Millwall, you get flop of the week even though you beat Leeds United.
Good gravy. Sam Greenham, who you going to for flop of the week?
It's got to be Celtic and Warsaw, obviously. Celtic with the absolutely appalling performance, getting beat 6-1 on aggregate, and then Warsaw knowing that he's inedible, and he can't play. But this, I was talking to my dad about it. There was 6-1 up. If a player was injured or tired and they had no one else who could come in his place, just play with 10 men.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same as what Hull City did last season. We were 6-0 up against Fulham. Tom Huddleston was a bit tired. We ran out of subs. We just said, just come sit off. We've won. There's only 5 minutes. We're not scoring 7 goals in 5 minutes.
Yeah, easy.
Take it easy, but they're just it's just logic in it. It's just
No, very true. Very true. Mike Harneman, who you going for?
It's really got to be Legia Warsaw, isn't it? Really, because like what Sam's saying, they're 6-1 up at the time already, and basically, I don't know what they're thinking about, but you know, it is Henningberg in charge. He did used to play for United, so you know he has probably only got half a brain cell.
Speaking of Man United, Jezzy Fizzle has gone for his flop being Man City or City and Legia Warsaw. Big T, to round out the show, who you going for flop of the week?
Well, honourable mention to Millwall for not getting more than 2 goals. I mean, the only goals they're going to get is probably less than mine after what happened last weekend in Burger King. But if I tell you all that, I'll get chucked up. I'm actually going to have to say my flop of the week. I'm going to give it to Chester, and not for that kind of Chester, because I did Chester if you not like that, but if you know what I mean. Yeah, Chester. The more I say Chester, the more I think about Joe. Just saved the team in conference, yeah, for losing 5-0, and the manager's called Burr. So if I say Burr Chester, that sounds even more wrong. But no, I'm going to give it to them because they lost 5-0. I mean, come on, how can you let a team penetrate you that much? Because if you think about it, right, the defence is not going to get ripped apart like that. I know it's conference football, but what are they smoking and joking? They need some avocados or something, because it's clearly not working for them. But you need to pull your finger out, you need to pull their fingers out, turn the cold showers onto hot showers, because it's clearly not working, mate. You've got to pay more money to get more teams in, because quite frankly, you're a disgrace. Now, I'm a Notts County fan today, now I don't really bother with conference football, but Chester, and if I say that one more time, I am going to probably get chucked off. So that conference team, for losing 5-0 and not for the name and the manager, you clearly my flop of the week, hands down.
Oh, Jamie Bailey, who you going for flop of the week?
I'm going to go with Man City. I'm going to say that Borussia Dortmund. I might have to go with Chelsea at the moment. As much as he did well, but the sign was just pretty much proof what we really want to do. And that's still buying trophies this season. And so I'm not going to go with Leeds United on the situation, even though they do deserve it. But Huddersfield Town, as well as Birmingham City. And the final one I would say is everybody that hasn't supported Militia. Ones that have not found themselves up to support Militia this year. top quality coach, and you know what, top woman as well.
Oh, that's a good shout. That's a very good shout. For me, to Huddersfield and Legia Warsaw,
-5 stars.
That's the rating that I give them. But you know what?
And to Charlton.
We have reached that final point. We have reached that end of the time where we have to vacate the place with a haze. So I gotta give you guys a wave on YouTube. Thank you for joining us, and you know what? Thank you to everyone who's going to end up listening to this on the podcast on iTunes, Mixcloud, Podomatic, and Spreaker. Might have to get the American Dream to do them intros more often at the top of the show. Although I don't know how Jazzy and the G-Man would feel about that. But you know what? It is time for us to vacate the place with a haze. So you know what? It is about that time for, and you know what? A big shout out to Tara as well. It's one of them. She's not yours anymore, Mike. But you know what? It's time for us to say.
-5 stars.
I'm John Sitton, and I'm here with Gavin, Liam, and Gerald on Pitch Talk.
The football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions.
Hello, I'm Rob Perez. My name is Christian Carambeu.
I'm grassroots coach Manisha Taylor.
Hi, I'm Matt Hodgson, director of the 4-year plan, and you're listening to Pitch Talk, the only place to get your Monday night footballing fix.
Make sure you join the revolution.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I'm Andy Copeland from the Glennet Southern Amateur League.
Philip Wick, I'm CEO of 14.
Rob Lusher, former chairman of Ibis FC.
I'm Samir Swanee, co-founder and co-director of Motivate Sports and Fitness.
And you're listening to
Pitch Talk.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the American Dream introduced us to the show, but the straight shooting one will be seeing you out and seeing you home. You know what? It's one of them ones. Your Monday Night Football and Fix has been fantastic. We had the G-Man in the Skype chat, and we had Jazzy Fizzle here too. But you know what? It's a case of, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, straight shooting LJ, the G-Man and Jazzy Fizzle proudly bring to you the football talk show that pulls no punches and holds back nothing on opinions, because the pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch, of course, is where we talk. And you know what? Talk. It's terrible. Facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution. We are working so hard to create. MySpace.com/Pitch Talk. PitchTalk.blogspot.com or .co.uk will get you to blogs by yours truly, Straight Shooting LJA, the G-Man, Jazzy Fizzle, Dave Me, aka Missy, Russ Vernon, and many, many other. Also, www.pitch-talk.com is the official website. Keep up with everything there. Also at Pitch Talk on Twitter, Pitch Talk live on Google+. Wow, youtube.com/Pitch Talk 2 for the Pitch Talk at Cup Finals series, Pitch Talk Meet series, Pitch Talk on the road, and much, much more. Much, much more. Don't worry, we haven't forgotten about Pitch Talk meets Sahel Raymond and Pitch Talk meets Girls on the Ball. Those will be coming soon. Keep your eyes peeled, and they will be coming soon. But you know, also big time. Remember, 07535 804 466 is the mobile number. Call us, text us, let us know your views. Also, Pitch Talk 1 on Skype as well. You know what? It's been a lot of fun. Big shout outs to Miss Umbrian Ali, to Miss Manisha Taylor, to Samir Sawney of Motivate Sports and Fitness at Motivate SF on Twitter. Big shout outs to Sophie and Rachel, and of course Pitch Talk's favorite rabbit, Scotty, at Girls on the Ball on Twitter, girlsontheball.com. And remember also with Motivate Sports and Fitness and also Girls on the Ball, Goals for Girls has actually started as well. So keep an eye on that. Also, a big shout out to Finn White Line, Ian Kerr at Finn White Line, at Tweet White Line, and www.finnwhitelinemagazine.com and facebook.com/Finn White Line Magazine. Also, big shout out to the Section 357 show as well. All the guys over there. You know what? Big time shout outs. A couple mates of mine, Mo Hosseini, what's up? Apollo, a couple of my colleagues that say to me, what is up? But you know what? It is one of them ones. We've had so many joining us tonight, including Big T, who got the opportunity to say, had the opportunity to say that for Big T. But also shout outs to Tom Wood, Sam Greenham, Russ Vernon, Mike Arneman, Jazzy Fizzle, the G-Man, Lilia Lumi, Kieran Riley, and many, many more. So many shout outs, not enough time. Big shout outs to Porter Sockability. Also big shout out to IBIS FC as well. And also, of course, Storm FM 2 and the Goal Line on Storm FM. You know what? I have been straight shooting LJA. And Jazzy Fizzle, I think, is still here somewhere. I've been straight shooting LJA.
I've been Jazzy Fizzle.
And we are going to say thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.